my name's Owen. I'm the Dungeon Master of our Return of the Giants campaign.
Hey guys, I'm Jared. I'm playing the character of Krasus, Antares, a Astral Elf Wizard.
Hi everybody, I'm Michael. I'm playing Tetra Aeonite, Circle Stars Druid.
Hi, my name's Claire. I am playing Nauthiz, or Now, who is a Stoneforged Fighter.
Hi, I'm Ali, and I'm playing Lyra, the Eladrin Druid.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm playing Niles Silverwind, the monk Owlin.
Hello! Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Lost Archives. We've not been having audio issues. Everything's running smoothly. Jared coming in a second later. Oh my goodness. Jared's back, everybody. He's here. Now you won't see his face if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, but you will hear his voice, and for podcasters, you'll be able to hear his voice. Jared is still recovering from his knee surgery, so he's lent us only his voice for tonight.
Yeah, hey guys. Also, before I realized, because I unmuted the video chat just to see if it was working on the Twitch stream, so that's why I was lagged with my hello, because I got.
You were responding. Yep, that's pretty funny.
It's my bad.
I'm
also drugs, endone, blah blah.
Drugs.
Prescription. So thank you so much, everybody.
Yes.
For joining us tonight for our return.
By the shady guy with the overcoat.
Yeah. You want the done? I got the dome right here. Come on. Yeah.
I just got at the news agency.
Niles.
I hope, and we all hope, that you guys had a lovely Easter break. If you celebrated Easter, I hope you had a lovely Easter. If you don't celebrate Easter, but you enjoy a good public holiday like me, I hope you enjoyed a good public holiday and a bit of time off and a bit of time to rest and relax. We're certainly back, raring, fit, ready to go. Like, very excited for another session. Obviously, there was no Avatar Legends last night. Very, very last minute, we had a couple of players not be able to make it, so instead we did Grounded. And that was really fun. And we almost had Dave join us for Grounded, but then Dave couldn't join us for Grounded at the last minute. But that's okay. We'll get Dave on for Grounded next time. I've got Dave booked in for Grounded at some point. Yeah, it was loads of fun. We had a great time. And obviously with the Easter Monday, we didn't do our Curse of Strahd, so it's been quite a quiet week for us streaming. But we're back now with our premiere homebrew D&D campaign, Return of the Giants. I should say as well, actually, we're still joined by our special guest, Dave.
Hello.
Just quickly said a hello to his dog first, and then said hello to you guys.
Checks out.
For podcast listeners, Dave's got his dog on his lap, which is super cute. Just doing a little happy dance.
Oh my goodness.
That's fantastic. I should see if any of my dogs my dogs will be elsewhere right now. Probably like bumming food. So yeah, Dave is joining us as Harry the Harengon. He will continue to be joining us for the next couple of sessions. Very excited to have Dave joining us for a bit. And be really fun having a big old party of 6 players tonight. We've done it a few times before. It's not anything new for us. I think Tyranny of Dragons, we had about 8 or 9 sessions where we had 6 and 7 people at some points, because we had guests come and then you guys came back, and then we had like an overflow effect with like the full cast plus the guests to make sure we had it all run smoothly. Alrighty, well, let me do a quick recap for the session, and then we will jump straight back into it. So let me quickly pull open my notes from last time. The Tempest Adventuring Guild, a name now legendary across the lands of Nostea, has formed a brand new team. Lyra, Tetra, Niles, Nauthiz, and Krasus have been sent to the nearby settlement of Laspire to locate the hill giant fort recently seen flying overhead in the nearby area. Last session, the group arrived at the town, finding some obvious signs of trouble as they travelled down the main road. They were met outside the gates by Harry, a Harengon travelling merchant who had only just arrived to peddle his wares in town and attempt to open trade with the giants. Deciding to travel in together, the group found the town seemingly abandoned, the central town square now destroyed, replaced by a massive metal and obsidian orb softly glowing and pulsing with light. Deciding to investigate the nearby houses, some of which seemed to be in the process of being deconstructed, the group found the settlement crawling with clockwork creations resembling ants the size of dogs. From all over town, these mechanical creatures were gathering materials from the nearby houses and transporting them to the sphere. Seemingly harmless, or at least uncaring or unnoticing of the party's presence within the town, the group entered the nearby church, only to be ambushed by more clockwork insects, these ones resembling 2 giant spiders and a giant scorpion. The battle was a tense one, Harry and Lyra taking some brutal blows which briefly knocked them unconscious and resulted in Harry sustaining a rather grievous injury. The party were successful, however, at fending off these mechanical constructs, and we left off last session as they looted through the church area, the thorax of the two spiders seemingly hollow and containing items that they had salvaged and scavenged from the church area, whereas the large scorpion, I think Tetra was in the process of scavenging for some parts, and that's where we left off last session. We're actually going to jump over to Krasus before we jump in with the main party. Now, Krasus, last session, you decided to spend a little bit of time outside the walls of the town with the cart, making it a bit harder to locate, a bit harder to see, so that it wasn't in any danger of suffering damage or loss while you were exploring the town. Seeing that there was some malfeasance occurring within the town, you decided to play it safe and make sure the cart was well looked after. Over the last sort of 10-15 minutes, you have gathered some twigs, leaves, branches, moved the cart off around the side of the wall a little bit, behind a naturally occurring scrub and tree area, and then you've bundled up some twigs and stuff around it to hide it as best you can. As you walk back towards the main road and look towards it, the cart's not too badly hidden. Could I get you to roll me a survival check to see just how well it is hidden?
So this is what I was laughing about. Ironically, I'm probably not the person to have done this job, but we're going to go fourth. Okay. Survival, let's go. 6.
It's not too bad. I mean, as you look back...
I am intelligence, not wisdom.
Exactly. As you look back, you can see the cart, the furrows carved into the loamy earth from the cart wheels as you pushed it over towards this bracken. I mean, you can see them, but I mean, there's cart wheels everywhere. You don't think anyone's going to notice those leading directly to the cart. And as you look back, you can see that it's mostly hidden behind some trees and scrub. It's good enough.
You know what I might do, actually? Because these guys are going inside for a while. I'm going to... okay, so I'm going to do Ritual Cast Alarm in a 20-foot cube on the carriage. Just so if anything does go off, like if anything happens to it, we should know.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great idea. You spend 10 minutes walking around casting the ritual alarm. What would you like the alarm to be if it goes off? What's your chosen sound?
You know what? Because ironically, like, everyone will find out what my fine familiar is later on, but it's going to be an owl hoot because Niles is here as well. I think it's funny to keep that owl train going.
Brilliant.
Nice.
Fantastic. I love it. While that's been going on, actually, while you were with the cart, you had probably 10 minutes to also ritual cast Find Familiar. Would I be correct in assuming you also do that?
Oh, yes. Yep, 100%.
Brilliant. Would you like to describe your familiar? Or should we save it for when the party see it? What do you reckon?
I like that. Let's do that.
Okay, done. As you finish summoning your familiar, it perches atop your shoulder, giving sort of a gentle susurrus in your ear that helps focus your mind as you begin hiding the cart away, then casting alarm. The animal companion familiar giving you some guidance and comfort. As you finish that spell, the cart now safe, you turn your attention towards the town, hearing this incredibly loud crashing noise, this dolorous dong, as if a bell had been rung very, very loudly, followed by a series of crashes, and then this muted thud coming from inside the palisade walls. Probably at that point, you would start to sense maybe all is not 100% well inside the town.
Perfect. Well, I guess I'd better find where they've all scampered off to.
Perfect. Krasus, as you head inside through the town gates, you immediately spy, scuttling around a series of townhouses located right near the exit to the town, these very large clockwork ants, about the size of maybe just under the size of a golden retriever. These massive 6-legged clockwork ants. You can see gears and springs and cogs moving within their bodies. The large abdomen at the back seemingly hollow. You can see one of them's actually opened up its abdomen and is placing items inside, while the other one uses its massive mandibles to just carve through a section of wood like it was butter. These massive mandibles just crunching through the wood, cutting away and opening it up. They don't seem to pay much attention to you, though. As you step through the town gates, they don't even really glance in your direction. These crystalline eyes of this dark, almost like obsidian-like crystal, covered in this layer of refractive and reflective glass, don't even really seem to turn towards you.
Okay. I will stealth, though, because I'm by myself.
Absolutely. Would you like to make a stealth check for me?
I'm actually quite sneaky.
18. Very sneaky.
I'm also going to have my Find Familiar, like flying around, sort of doing aerial reconnaissance.
Absolutely. With a very soft, silent flutter of wings, almost imperceptible, your familiar takes to the skies and begins a low, lazy figure 8 above your head, keeping an eye out, occasionally letting off these soft cries to alert you to any potential danger that it spies. But all you see is more of these mechanical ants, which, again, pay you no heed. They seem oblivious to your presence or uncaring. You're not sure which.
Okay, cool. I'll keep going. I guess, like, I'll have a sense of where I imagine where the sounds are coming from is probably where the party are.
You heard that.
Make my way to
that loud ringing noise came directly from the north, and your familiar soon alights atop the spire of the church, in fact where the bell tower once stood, and tilts its head curiously as it glances down the inside of the bell tower before fluttering back, again making these sort of soft cries and then leading you over towards the church.
Cool. All right.
As you approach the very small, rather austere church within the town, you can see that it is devoted to both Lysander, predominantly to both Lysander and to Melora, the goddess of the wilds. You can see these stained glass windows depicting a beautiful rising sun, as well as waves over the ocean and a dense forest. And it is rather common for small settlements to have churches devoted to the worship of many gods. It does seem like the two predominant gods in this settlement would appear to be Melora and Lysander. The church doors are open, the main large wooden doors that lead into the... I think one of my dogs might have stepped on my other dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, we did say last time around the same time there was like the sound of a dog running out of town. That's what you hear as the dog runs past you. This very like gentle yelping as it disappears out the town gates, Krasus. Yeah, but you can see these large double doors are actually half ajar, and from inside you can hear the sound of metal scraping on metal, followed by this hiss, almost like of steam hissing through a pipe.
Okay, I'm gonna get my familiar and have it come to me, and I'll send him in first to gauge this sound because, yeah.
Well, let's jump into the people inside the church. The rest of the party, the clockwork creatures, the two spiders and scorpion lie unmoving, seemingly destroyed or at least inhibited for the time being as they lie on the ground. You've gone through their abdomens, gone through the goods that they seem to have acquired, and you can see up close now that these creatures are very cleverly and clearly designed for different purposes. The spiders that you saw, the clockwork spiders, they have a spinneret at the back of their tail which produces this roll of steel thread, which you suspect is probably designed to bind things together or to wrap around columns or constructs that need to be pulled down or dragged back towards a location, dragged to and from a location. In addition, the fangs, their mandibles, are actually tipped with some sort of acid-like substance. You can see that as they're lying there unmoving, one of the fangs has broken open, and this drip of this very, almost like a light purple coloured liquid, as it drips onto the stone floor of the church with a hiss, is eroding away a tiny little section of the stone as it etches into it. You get the sense this would probably be even more effective against metal. The scorpion, the large clockwork scorpion, the tail, that three-pronged tail, each one is actually tipped with a different type of tip. One of them is tipped with a red crystal, one with a blue crystal, and one with a white crystal. What these functions might be, you're not sure. The red and blue crystals are both broken and cracked, whereas the white crystal, which you saw shoot a bolt of lightning, does seem to still be intact. As you are looking around over these creatures, there's almost like a soft flutter, imperceptible sound, but the sense of air pushing down from above, and you see an avian form flutter in through the church doors and a light on one of the wall sconces. Jared, would you like to describe Krasus's familiar?
So, the familiar is... I think we had a chat about it, Owen, and I'm not going... So, obviously with the Find Familiar spell, there's certain forms you can choose. So I went with Owl before I had even thought about Niles. So ironically, we have 2 owls in the party now. But this is not just like a regular owl, it's an astral owl. So, Owen, that picture that you had sent me,
Yeah,
I don't remember exactly what it looked like.
Do you want me to describe it then? Because I've had to start on the artwork. I didn't quite get the artwork done in time for tonight's stream, but I will have it for the next one.
Fine.
So it's a snow white owl with a very dark black beak and dark black feet. The plumage almost has this kind of ghostly light to it, this very faint bioluminescence drifting across it that, rather than shining with a light, seems to give this impression of almost like a dark black light appearance coming off it. Very, very faint, almost imperceptible. Its head, however, has these 2 large protuberances coming out on either side of the left and right, tipped with a light blue glowing, almost like a lure from a deep sea fish. But they, rather than pulling forwards, pull back across the head, giving almost this crest of dark black skin, tipped with this bioluminescent circular tip. The eyes glow with this same bioluminescent light, this very light blue color. And I will have some artwork for you guys, hopefully soon on that.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Just didn't quite finish it in time.
Oh,
sorry, you go. Yeah.
So go on.
No.
Niles, you got some sort of Cosbra that's a bit of a ghostly looking thing. It looks a bit like you. Is it your friend?
Who's Harry talking to?
Niles.
Niles.
Oh, okay.
No, this is the first time I've seen this little fellow. Krasus, this is a rather curious...
Krasus isn't there yet, just so you know.
Oh,
it's just the familiar.
Sorry.
Just the familiar's flown in.
I'm saying we scared out the hall first before I enter.
I don't know what that is. It's a rather dashing looking little fellow, though, isn't it?
The owl cocks its head,
spectral,
turning towards the noise, giving out this very soft as it stares at you, Niles.
I look at it as well, and also give it a bit of a look. I'm just like,
So I'm gonna keep my stealth up, and I'm gonna stealth into the hole that you guys are in, or wherever you are.
I'm gonna say you stealth in because no one has a passive perception of 18. I'm willing to bet.
Perfect. I'm gonna get in, and I'm gonna be standing to Niles as he is looking at it, and then it'll sort of coming. The familiar will come on a trajectory like towards Niles, almost like gaining some speed.
Woo! Niles like flaps out the way.
And then I sort of stand there, sort of cocked like a eagle handler would sort of have, like, and then the astral owl will,
immediately, flies over, lands.
Are you behind me, Krasus?
I was like next to you. I stealthed in as everyone's attention was on the owl.
My head just like that does like this 180 and just like spins around to you. I'm just like, Krasus! Oh! Does that little fellow belong to you?
Oh,
This is my find familiar. So,
Oh.
by all means, don't be scared of him. He's good.
oh no! I think it's quite dashing. What a fine choice for a familiar.
It looks a little odd. I think it looks like one of those really deep, like the anglerfish with the dinga.
Yeah, I was just having a look at that myself.
No, you don't find these often in the realms. This is something that comes to us in the sky castles that we're on.
Oh.
Does he have really sharp teeth like anglerfish?
I look at the familiar and I sort of get the owl to open its beak.
Yeah, I mean, razor sharp beak, much like a snowy owl, this much smaller, much more razor sharp beak that can open quite wide, revealing inside this, again, that almost like glowing blue bioluminescence inside the throat as it opens its beak and shows off this very wickedly sharp, slightly curved beak. No teeth.
No teeth.
No teeth.
Pretty cool.
Sorry
Looks
about that, Tetra. I don't think you've seen this either in our travels. I haven't shown him off yet.
Would Niles have teeth?
Niles does not have teeth. Niles is an
Yeah.
owl.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I'm like, wait a sec.
His name is Sova.
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 Yeah. So I actually
Sova.
found out apparently that in Croatian, which I'm Croatian, Sova is owl.
Oh, there you go.
I like
That's
that.
cool.
That's really cool.
And I thought it
that's
actually
cool.
sounded pretty cool as a name as well, so I went with it.
I like it.
Sova. Sova? Sova.
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 Probably not Sova, probably Sova.
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 I like
Sova.
it. Yeah,
Nice.
It is.
More emphasis
Again,
on the.
I will have
Sova.
the artwork for that very soon. I
That's
promise.
cool.
Just haven't had a chance to finish it.
No, but no problem there at all. Owen. But
Well,
yeah,
I, for one, approve of your little friend here. I think he is a fine, dashing fellow.
I figured you would. To be honest, you do have some, similarities a little bit.
Yeah, yes.
As you turn your head, Krasus, you notice there's a new person here who you've not seen before. Dave, would you like to describe Harry to us?
Well, first of all, Harry only just holsters his crossbow because he's been pointing at the owl the whole time.
Yeah.
Wait, but Harry
Honestly,
met
okay,
in
look,
the,
honestly,
in the
the fact that
carriage.
he's holding the fact that actually, did I meet Harry?
You met Harry,
Yeah,
but
we-
I just
we
I just
did
want
meet
Dave
Harry.
to describe Krasus to you
Yeah.
again.
I
I just want Dave to describe Harry again, so you've got Harry fresh in your mind. Krasus.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Cool.
that was a sentence and a half to get through. What is wrong with me?
Well, when you met Harry the first time, he's wearing his like ornamental robe with like his So, he's a merchant. It's a functional robe, but right now it looks like a completely different one because it's a completely different color. It's black. It's not reflective at all. He's a bit short. He's not full size. He's actually a small creature. But his ears make him look a bit more tall. So if you looked eye level, you'd just be looking at the top of his ears.
And you've
That's
pulled
Harry.
your hood on as well, haven't you, Harry, for that little exchange? So something you haven't seen is Harry's special hood, which has holes cut out for the ears designed to sit comfortably around them. And so as Harry pulled on his hood before, when he swapped his cloak around, the other attachment has a hood that pops out of a little very cleverly designed cloth compartment at the back of the neck. And rather than keeping his ears contained and pulling them down inside the hood, it looks like Harry's designed and stitched himself these two ear holes for his ears to pop up and appear out through the top of the hood.
Nice.
Yeah, it means that you can't do the cool like hood up thing because it has to be like feeding
Has to like
it through,
tuck.
but like,
Has to tuck
So, he doesn't-
one
so
ear
once it's
first.
on, it stays on for a while.
Yeah. Well, actually, it'd be pretty easy to remove. You could just pull it back, I guess.
Yeah. If it did try to do the cool head up, hood up thing, would his ears be like?
I guess they would be, yeah, like over the front of your
Yeah.
face. Yeah. That's fantastic.
He's got bangs.
Got bangs.
Blocks his eyesight and
I
he
guess
doesn't hear anything.
I guess they're more like flops
He's
than
really
bangs.
fashionable while he does it.
Flops.
Flops, just like.
Yeah.
Cute.
But yeah, you can see, Krasus, that Harry is actually limping a little bit. There is quite a rough, jagged wound in his thigh that is not actively bleeding, but does look like it has been recent and quite brutal.
Yeah, I'll definitely take in the scene. So obviously I can see some drone spiders. Obviously they've been destroyed, and Lyra also looks pretty wounded, I imagine. I listened to the podcast, so
Yeah.
I know that you both went down.
A little bit better now, for sure.
We were both O-code, right? We were both one hits, I think.
You both went down. Were they one hit KOs? Were they?
Mine was a one hit. I don't
We
think
were
mine was.
rolling.
yeah.
We were rolling an
Surprise.
inordinate amount of natural 20s last session. I do remember that. I think
Yeah.
we had like 9 or 10.
8. Yeah.
I think I can't remember if it was Lyra or Harry that was like 2 or 3 HP away from like a.
That was Lyra.
Like,
Lyra was,
Yeah.
I
It
think,
was-
6
yeah.
HP off
Lyra.
a single kill. Just like a
you were real close.
Level 1.
level 1.
What?
Oh, if I was level 1, I'd be dead. I was level 2, so.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
But no, I'll look around and I see I missed some of the action. Are you all right? Harry, is that a crossbow bolt in your leg?
It has been
It
removed.
was in my leg, but it's
Oh,
No,
I'm next to you.
Yeah, nah. She'll be right. She'll be right.
I
yeah,
keep
hop
telling
to
him he should. Oh, Harry. Oh, Harry.
what do you keep saying, Niles?
Oh, I was just saying. I think he needs some medical attention. That crossbow bolt was quite nasty.
Well, Lyra helped me up, so I'll be alright for now. I'll just walk a bit slow,
Okay.
but we don't really have the time or the resources, I guess.
That is a good point. We're in a bit of a pickle. Krasus, I assume that you've seen the situation outside.
Yes, I did see the ants walking around, and well, I'm here now. I'm here to help. I
good.
have made the carriage a little bit more, conspicuous. Set an alarm as well, but so we'll know something happens to it. But now I'm here to help.
We were sort of wondering how we were going to get closer to the sphere. The ants seem to have to take up a bit of a defensive position when any sort of outside interference comes. I was wondering if you had any other ideas about what we could do.
Help with what again,
Some
sir?
sort of Astral Elf.
Oh, I was just wondering, should we get a bit closer to the sphere to see what they're harvesting or where it's going? Or have we got enough here? Should we depart back and report our findings?
I think I can. I think it's not a bad idea to check out the sphere while we're here. Who knows what it's doing to this town?
I agree. They seem to be harvesting the town for something. Yes, now.
Well, could this one check it out? And they're pointing to the owl.
Ah, yes, your little friend there.
I could definitely check it out with the owl, but unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to get, an analysis in like a thorough one. But could definitely check it, could send it out and have a bit of a spy.
Could that one not talk to that one? Pointing at Niles.
I don't believe this owl is capable. Well, I mean, I don't speak. It's a bit complicated. We're a bit far removed from that.
It's a different dialect of Orin. I speak
Yeah.
classical Owlin Orin. I imagine this owl speaks fucking animal Orin.
Yes, indeed. What's the voice in the sky said?
I'm just your subconscious, Matt. That's just what your
Yeah.
subconscious says.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think we're a bit far removed from that. I believe this owl is a little bit more animalistic, and we're a little bit farther along in the evolutionary chain.
Well, I can actually communicate with this telepathically within 100 feet of me.
Very good.
So, yes, I, as a fine familiar, it's magical of nature, not an actual beast. If this goes down, I can bring it back.
I mean,
Through magic.
I'd be happy to fly up there myself, but as we've seen, these creatures do have some sort of range capability, and I'd rather not get zapped out of the sky anytime soon if I can avoid it. Perhaps your fine familiar might fare better there.
So have you guys had your rest?
No, I think now's a good time to have it if you wanted to.
I think we'd be actively
We're
having
here in
it now
the.
while we discuss plans.
Oh, doing some little reconnaissance. Actually, now we'll take the heaviest object in the room place it in front of the door, and then sit on it.
Nice. Closing the doors
cool.
too.
Yep.
The doors open inwards, so that works.
Oh, cool.
Even if it didn't work,
Now
I'd
still
still
would have done it.
yeah.
Well, if you are all taking a short rest, you may also all level up to level 2 as you reflect on your time in combat, what you've learned, and also as a team, how you can better avail yourselves to your team members in combat.
Yeah. I think Niles is probably going to spend some time. He's feeling pretty chipper. He hasn't taken any damage. He's just going to spend some time like looking over the drones and like looking like really studying. Not that he's really an expert in this field of like mechanics and that sort of stuff, but he'd be like having a good look over the bodies, like seeing how it's all made up and trying to get a bit of an idea of like what these things are.
Well, if I see you taking a bit of interest in it, I'll definitely come over and lend my help.
Yeah, okay.
Because I think I'll definitely would be interested as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, in that case then, would you be looking at doing like an Arcana, kind of understand the magic that powers them, investigation to kind of understand the clockwork sort of thing? Or are you more thinking like just a perception, just to look over them, see what you can learn just by looking
More
at
like a perception check. Yeah, I think it's more like a... just more of a perception check, I think.
All right, I'll do an Arcana check then. I'll study the magic that's powering them,
cool.
and then that can do the perception check.
Tetra's interested in those crystals.
Oh,
I thought you might be. Do you want to do an Arcana check or investigation check then, Tetra?
I'll roll a perception check.
Yeah, I'll do an Arcana on that one.
Alrighty, that's a natural 1 for Niles.
I didn't roll that crash shot either.
That's
Oh, wow, we all of us
10 for Krasus, 8 for Tetra. Alright, so we'll go through in order. 7 for... That's a hit dice for Lyra.
That's a hit
I was kidding. Niles, natural 1, 5 for perception. As you look over these clockwork creatures, the first thing that strikes you is these are very complex. Whoever designed and built these... this must have taken... These things are so intricately complex. You imagine it would have taken years to build one of these. These are a work of art. The way the gears fit together, the way the plates move and allow for that very fluid motion. I mean, even the fact as you look at the spider, even the fact it was able to climb the walls, you're just like, wow, how did it do that? That's amazing. As you look over these creatures, you look at the scorpion like, oh, it's got a tail. Whoa. That thing shot lightning. Whoa. Yeah. As you look over the clockwork creations, that's your impression, is just, ooh.
Yeah.
Krasus with a 10 for Arcana, Tetra with an 8 for Arcana. I mean, clearly magic was used in these things, or was it? I mean, or the gears, or the springs. I mean, you've both seen probably more Krasus than Tetra. You've seen some wondrous clockwork creations in Oxenford, or maybe even up in the Sky City of Volus. I mean, there are some amazing things that you can do with clockwork. These things seem to be moving and reacting in a way that clockwork probably shouldn't or can't, as far as you know. But again, like, maybe this is just really, really advanced clockwork. Or it could be magic. You're really torn. Tetra is even more torn. Tetra's probably coming away from this being like, wow, like that's some really impressive clockwork.
I mean, it's not even a lightning crystal. I don't understand. It's like some weird... I don't know.
Don't worry, Tetra. I have no idea what's going on either.
So Tetra, you were specifically asking about the crystals. I mean, there's a few crystals that you recognize. There's a blue one that could be sapphire. There's a red one, probably ruby or garnet. The white one, you don't know. Maybe it's smoky quartz. Who knows? These crystals, even though you have prodigious knowledge of crystals, these ones, because they are cracked, slightly broken, the way they're housed, they kind of defy identification a little bit for you with an 8. I mean, you get an idea that, it could be ruby or garnet, but what that would do, you're not really sure. The white one definitely shot lightning, so probably that would lead you away from smoky quartz, maybe towards something like a topaz. But why it's milky white, you're not sure. Topaz is normally an electric yellow color.
I mean, it looks more like a malachite then. It's so silly.
Yeah, maybe not with that like green shading that malachite sometimes gets, but that milky, smoky white color. Yeah.
While it's going on, it stumped me a little bit, so I'm going to ritual cast detect magic.
Oh,
Brilliant.
So I mean, get a better understanding.
Short rest normally is about, I think, an hour for a short rest in D&D. So,
and I probably won't really be resting because honestly, my level up is just looking after a carriage and walking through a city.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point. Practicing your spellcraft though.
It's true. It's true. I find familiar and stuff, but I'll definitely be detect magicking ritual cast that for to get a better understanding, because then I've been a bit stumped because the Arcana check didn't really turn up much anything in the form of magic, but if I do detect magic, I might be able to pinpoint it.
Yeah. So your detect magic, as you activate and begin looking around, there's no real residue of magic left on these creatures, whether it's because they never had magic powering them, or whether it's because with their inactivity, with them being shut down, the magic has faded. Maybe that's how they were destroyed or defeated. Because I mean, you can see where they should still be able to move. Like, not all the clockwork's been destroyed. They haven't been completely taken apart. Maybe something about the damage that's been dealt has dissipated? That's not a word. Has dissipated? Dissipated. And I think I went to say dissipated and disapparate at the same time.
You made a new word added to the dictionary.
Has been dissipated. Whether or not that's the cause of why they've stopped working, you're not 100% sure. However, with your detect magic up, you can see that the church itself is actually under the effects of some sort of spell. I just want to quickly double check what spell school that would belong to. I believe it's under the school of abjuration. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Is under the spell of abjuration. You can see the whole church itself seems to be affected by this abjuration, which you know that a lot of places that have been blessed by the gods will often have a protection on them, and will likely be either holy ground or sanctified ground, which prevents undead from stepping across the threshold.
Sanctuary.
I think actually ceremony is the one I'm thinking of for this one, but still same thing, yeah. Or sanctify and
it's similar.
Yeah.
Different.
But abjuration would be the school of magic. It's very faint. It's not very strong, but it is a lingering effect. It does seem like the church is protected by a ceremony spell or sanctuary spell.
Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna. Yeah, so it's only within 30 feet of the detect magic as well. So for me to even figure out what that big sphere is, I would have to get closer. But for now, that's interesting. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Krasus, do you think it would be wise to bring one of these back with us, or should we leave it here? Perhaps there's someone in Oxenfurt that might be able to study it a bit further. I know Griswold back at the Tempest Guild might be keen to have a look at it.
Quick question for you, actually, before I answer that. Sorry, Owen.
Hello.
Because we have like a clockwork carriage.
You do.
When I didn't actually think about this to ask, but we were in that cart for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Would I have been able to? I probably would have detected magic to see. I would have been curious to see what magic was emanating off our transport.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably something you would have done. Yeah. In that case, then, enchantment would be the school of magic.
Okay. And does this look quite similar to what we have as a carriage, like the tech?
No, these creatures look entirely different. What Griswold has designed is almost like a very simple, like a practice run for one of these creatures. Like the spheres that open up and pull the carriage. I mean, They're powered by a very large elemental crystal at their core. These creatures seem to be running on a much smaller, much more efficient power source. The spheres that pull the carriage, there's probably 4 or 5 big central gears, and then the rest are all attached to that through a central drive shaft. These creatures are filled with probably almost 100 different tiny, ranging from tiny to quite large as your hand, cogs, gears, springs. I mean, some of these pistons that drive the legs that were hissing and making noise, you've never seen anything like it. They were almost creating and pressurizing air to help move the leg. Pneumatic pistons in our world. But for this world, for Nostea, this is something you've never seen before. Griswold's creations look almost like a child's attempt at one part of these clockwork creatures.
Wow. Okay. I will look at Niles.
Yeah, infinitely more complex.
Yeah. Niles, I look at you and I just go, oh yeah, we need to take one of these back. This, I don't want to diss, as the children say, Griswold, but this is far above our carriage. The tech.
Oh, I thought our carriage was rather advanced.
It is. This is crazy. We need to bring this back.
Would you say it's on par with the giant forged tech of what you saw of Lockie and the others? The other equipment that they had, that is.
Oh, I don't know if I've actually met Lockie before.
Probably you're better positioned to answer that question, Lyra.
Yeah.
I would look at Lyra and go, I haven't actually been able to see a giant forge in person. You have. Would you say this is quite similar?
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, very similar. I mean, the way the plates are designed, the binding together, the way they overlap and slide to create this effect of one single surface skin, despite the fact that it's actually interlocking plates. This is almost exactly the same as Lockie underneath his armor, and the way his armor attaches and slides and locks into place looks very similar to the metal exoskeleton that these creatures are using. The only real difference, Lyra, is the materials used to make these creatures, whereas Lockie seemed to be made of a couple of different alloys: electrum, platinum, copper, and bronze. This very odd, I shouldn't say copper and bronze, very specific, strange alloys of copper and bronze you've never seen before. These creatures seem to be made of iron and brass, much more common metals. They don't seem to be made of the same stuff as Lockie. But otherwise, the similarities are uncanny. The gemstone eyes almost look identical to Lockie's. You know that Lockie has a glass circle covering a gemstone, which is what he sees through. These are very similar. Maybe not the same designer, but same school.
Yes, I think I definitely sort of convey that to the others. It's like, okay, actually, no, I've sort of answered my own question as I'm getting a bit of a closer look, and she's probably walked up to one of the nearby spiders and is sort of rummaging around. And if no one snagged that steel cabling, she's absolutely going to pull it out and see if we can add it to the bag of holding.
It's pretty heavy, but yeah, I mean, you can chuck in 10 meters of fine steel cable.
That could be handy.
At the same time, can I try chopping out that little crystal?
Chop out a little crystal, did you say, Tetra?
Yeah, the lightning one that wasn't broken.
Yeah, I'd say so. Do you want to make me a sleight of hand check to see how well you do?
Sure. While Tetra's doing that, I don't know how big these drone spiders are. Could they fit in the bag of holding?
They're pretty big. So the drone spiders are roughly the size of a deerhound. So a very large dog, maybe up to about waist height. In terms of weight, as you try and lift it, they easily weigh 80, 90 kilograms. They're very heavy for their size. Well caught, Claire. That was a good sneeze.
Expert.
That's fine.
It was a dab sneeze. The scorpion's even bigger. One with us. The scorpion's even bigger. The scorpion, is the same. If you were to stand it up on its hind legs without the tail, it's the same height as you are. With the tail, it's from the tip of its tail to its head, it's about 6 meters long. It's
all right, so
quite large.
What I will do, though, I definitely want to take one of these complete as a specimen in our carriages when we leave. But just in case we can't do that, while everyone else is having their rest, Krasus will be going around and collecting samples from each of them.
Absolutely.
small
9
enough
for your
that I
sleight of
can-
hand Tetra.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So big enough that we can fit them in the bag of holding comfortably and not weight. Like obviously it's like 500 pounds or something, I think, limit. So we'll definitely take some samples.
You
A
could
good
probably
size.
take the heads. If you wanted to take each of the heads, that would fit
I'll-
in the bag of
I'm
holding
gonna
without too
try
much
and-
effort.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely try and take the things that definitely have the most to gain from an analysis from Griswold. So if the heads are what I deem to be the most,
You didn't roll super well on your Arcana. 10. So I'm going to say that probably looking at it, you would assume that it's like biological creatures. The head's the most important part
so
of
the
us.
Arcana was me looking at the magic involved. How about I do an investigation to see?
Yeah, I'd be up for that.
Yeah.
So 9 for your sleight of hand Tetra. Yeah, as you try and get this gemstone out, you can actually see the inside of the gemstone has been partially hollowed and fine wiring has been positioned inside of it. This isn't just a complete gemstone. On the outside, it's complete. The inside has actually been hollowed away, and it's almost like a casing of a gemstone. And in the very center, as you peer in and begin trying to pry it off, this outer shell cracks ominously. And you realize that if you try and sort of work with this anymore, you're going to damage this gemstone. It's not going to be able to be removed here without the correct tools.
Well, shit.
22 Krasus. Yeah, you would know looking over the bodies that the heads or the torsos would be the most interesting. Although I will add that for the scorpion, probably the tail, the tip of the tail, the actual connecting joints, not so interesting, but the tip of the tail, that tri spike at the tip, you get the sense that looks like it is very complex and very different. Probably that's the most important part of the scorpion to get. For the spiders, actually inside part of the abdomen, there is a bundle of very tightly bound gears and what looks to be almost like a copper box wrapped in this slightly shiny, spongy black material. Rubber for us, but for your characters, yeah, you probably wouldn't have seen too much processed rubber, but it's wrapped around, forming this kind of protective insulating shell around this copper cube inside. That would probably look the most interesting to you, Krasus, with a investigation of 22.
Awesome. Okay.
So you can add spider drone core and scorpion drone tail to your inventory.
All right. Matt,
Are you going to put it in the bag of holding?
Yeah, we'll put it in the bag of holding.
Can you put those in the Roll20 if I can just copy them in?
I can type that out if you like. Spider.
That'd be great.
drone
Thank you.
Core.
We're trying to fit stuff in bags. Now that Lyra's got a little bit more energy after a short rest, she's sort of gonna walk up to Harry and just sort of get some sneaky mushrooms going on and try and sort of stitch that hole in his leg a little bit more together with another healing word to
Yes. So this
hopefully,
time using your healing word, you don't need to roll for the HP. Instead, as you place your hands upon the wound and focus, the mycelium that grows out from your fingers immediately begins pushing through and pulling the tissue back together, forming almost like a protective plug that seals the wound and internally begins stitching some of those muscles back together as you utilize a what would we call it? I guess we call it like a bracket fungus mycelium that sort of pushes through and forms this very hard woody covering to protect the injury inside. Dave, you may remove the injury from Harry. You are no longer suffering the effects of the muscle damage.
to make it a little bit easier for you. Nothing worse than being handicapped when we're through the middle of a fight full of giant clockwork insects.
No, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
No problem,
Now we should
no
say
problem.
with your... Oh, sorry, Ali, you go.
Oh, good.
I was going to say, we should say with your level ups, do you want to really quickly talk through the main benefits of your level 2? Now, obviously, Dave Harry was already at level 2. Ali, what did Lyra take for the level 2? What has level 2 got Lyra?
So level 2 is where the druids specialize into the circle groups, and so she's finally officially picked up her mushroom powers.
Officially a spore druid.
Yeah, officially the spore druid.
Previously it's been flavor, now it's actual mechanical differences.
Yeah, gonna have a lot of fun with that. I also read my character sheet better, and it turns out I can wear armor. So
Hey.
I was,
there you go.
I don't know why I assumed
Did you think
that
druids
for these
couldn't?
symbiotic I thought an entity would be armored for some unknown reason.
No,
So-
the druids can wear light and medium, but they can't wear metal.
Well, that's actually there's a fun discussion about this, whether or not they can't, or whether most druids choose not to. There's an ongoing, very passionate debate online about this.
Says in the PHB that they can't wear metal.
Yeah, I know what it says. I know what it says in the PHB. It's it's interesting. There's been some
But
dissent.
then I wonder if that's like a choice that they've made.
The word can't rather than shan't wear metal.
Yeah.
I'm on the side of it does say rules as written that druids can't wear metal. Mechanically, I don't know how that works. Like, what is it about metal that druids can't use? Because they can learn heat
they
metal.
just like explode
so like
in
they
the
can't
flames and
interact
they wear
with
it.
it.
Like
Yeah.
they just
Yeah.
yeah.
But there's I will say I saw recently there was that debate has been getting more passionate on Twitter. I mean, when do things not get passionate on Twitter really? But yeah,
Passionate place.
it's been getting more intense. I'm gonna go with the rules as written. I'm not going to listen to what some wizard employees have said at certain events.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way.
Well, I think for me, like, it probably depends on the druid you build. If they're someone who's, I think it's sort of assumed that they're nature orientated, so they don't use metal. But there's some druids that get built that really aren't nature centric at all. So like, it just doesn't
That's
make
true.
sense that they wouldn't wear
I
metal.
mean, what happens if you build a Warforged druid?
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to
We
be
had
made of
one.
metal to be a warforged.
I remember that. Like Andrew played one, remember, Owen, and you did it pretty cool actually.
In my
The
Team of
other-
Annihilation game,
Yeah.
I've got a Warforged druid, and his flavor was really good. He basically was like a Warforged that existed, and then broke down. It kind of went to rest at a tree, and like the tree kind of grew in around him over time, and then he
Nice.
became reactivated, and
Yeah,
so
that's
he had this
cool.
affinity with nature from that. So
Mm.
we
My-
just sort of roll with that now.
My argument for any druids wanting to wear metal armor is talk to your DM, have a chat to them about reskinning one of the armor sets, like how we did for Tyranny of Dragons with the chitin armor. Actually, not even for Tyranny of Dragons. We even did it for this one. I did the crab armor. It's a great example. That was
So, there is something I've read
just reskin armor so it's not made of metal.
in the druid. I'm looking at D&D Beyond like another character.
Yeah.
The proficiencies, it says light armor, medium armor, shields, and then it says druids will not wear armor or use shields made
Okay.
of metal, but it says can't. It doesn't say can't.
It says will not, does it? There you
So
go.
I think
There you go.
I think it is interpreted as more like they choose not to because it's against their like ethics.
Belief.
Yeah.
So it says will not, doesn't say can't though. So I
I don't know
guess
if it
really
says
is
that though in the actual player's handbook. I do have a memory. I think Michael might be right, unless it's.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have to do this now. This isn't important now, but
It's true.
My argument is that druids don't need to wear metal armor. Just have your DM reskin one of the armor sets to be made of a different material. Like that's the simplest solution.
I think it just boils down to talking to your DM and figuring out just having a chat with them and figuring it out together.
Just talk to your DM. Make life really easy. Just have an open conversation about it. Excuse me, Lumi. We're not having an open conversation right now. No, we're not. Thank you. She's got strong opinions. She's got very strong opinions about the druids and their armor set. She believes that they should be able to wear full plate armor made of electron. We'll have a chat about it
Even
later.
while
Looms.
wild shaped.
Yeah, she's.
Bear in armor.
Well, that's another argument I've seen. Technically, rules as written, there's no reason why the bear, because it's like you choose whether the gear stays on you and adapts to your form or whether it like goes inside you. So there's some arguments to be had there. Yeah, you wouldn't get the benefit of the armor because it's like still the same size gear, unless it was like magic armor. In which case, then I've seen some discussions about whether or not a druid in wild shape should benefit from a magic armor if it's not brought inside of them and it automatically readjusts its size to fit. How does that work?
I'm of the opinion that if the druid in question were to find, like, you know, go on like a little mini side quest during the rest of the game to find something that would work. Yeah.
First thing I did, Michael, was create a special armor set called the Armor of the Wilds, designed for druids in wild shape, that gives all of their beasts either a +1 or a +2 bonus to armor class, depending on the level that the armor is at. There's 2 different levels, and the druids can go and find it or buy it, and it's in the world.
That is, to everyone listening, that is a very good DM thing to do. That's all.
It is.
Yeah.
Just makes moon druids just that much more tanky.
I love moon druids so much.
I love moon druids too.
Yeah.
It's ironic though, because we've got 2 druids that will probably never wild shape much. Like, they obviously got the ability to, but you guys are like actually like tailored to using your charges differently.
Come a long way.
They have come a long way. Well, look, like my first druid that I played, one of my first characters I played for a long time, was a moon druid. So going back into play druid again, I was like, I'm going to play something apart from moon, even though moon is arguably one of the stronger things.
I've actually never played a druid
really good.
Oh,
really?
druids are great.
So good.
Yeah, no, played pretty much every other class except druid.
Druid was the first class I ever played as well. Moon druid first subclass.
Really?
Yeah. That actually flows on really nicely. Michael, you're now a level 2 druid as well. Tetra is now a level 2 druid. You've taken Circle of
the Stars.
Who could have seen that coming?
Who could have seen that coming? Yeah. So I take a Circle of the Stars. So I've got a nice spin on the whole wild shape thing, which is I can do some cool form stuff. I won't give too much away, so we'll see in game. But yeah, so it's got a couple of nice things I can choose, sort of, because druid already is a very very broad class. So what it does is this sort of allows me sort of just to split into a couple of different things depending on what's happening in the game at the time. So
yeah, nice.
Now, something I haven't discussed with you behind the screen, Michael, which I did mean to, but I'm happy to talk to you now about, is that the 3 constellations of the druid, Circle of the Stars, I've got 2 more in mind that you might unlock at later levels.
Oh, really?
I think you'll be a big fan of.
Oh, really? Well, that's exciting.
One of the first things, because when I first saw the subclass come out and I read through the 3 constellations, I was like, oh, this is cool. And then immediately I thought of another constellation that would work really, really well. And then since then I've thought of another constellation. And there's another one that I've been sort of playing around with that is a level 20 constellation, which I am hoping to get this campaign to level 20. That's what I'm hoping that we can run that to level 20, and that is a special constellation which which I will reveal in all good time.
Level 20 is the dream.
Level 20 is the dream. Well, I think I read some stat or somewhere, like Reddit had done a poll, and less than I think it was less than 0.01% of campaigns get to level 20.
That's right.
Yeah.
I want to.
Level 20.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Love high
they've
rollers.
been there for a while.
Love high rollers. Happy to give them a free shout out. They what got me into D&D, so love high rollers so much. Claire, level 2 for Nauthiz. What has level 2 brought you?
Not much.
Level 3 will be your thing.
Yeah, level 3. So now this isn't even their subclass yet, but they did get Second Wind.
Which is awesome.
Which is great. I can get 1d10 plus 2 hit points per short rest as a bonus action. And then I also get Action Surge, which means I can take an additional action once per short rest as well. So
that is big.
Brilliant.
Just fighter things.
I'm very curious to know what now this subclass is going to be.
Have you not picked it yet?
I kind of have an idea of what it could be.
Do you want to make a guess?
Well, it could be Battle Master. Could be Champion. Could be Rune Knight.
Could it be Rune Knight, Matthew?
I think that's the one.
I love the realization as you go through the classes and you get to Rune Knight and your brain's like, yes, this one. The character covered in runes.
Yeah.
I think I knew that too. I just like,
Joke's on you.
about it.
She's
I
actually
was
playing a
like-
swashbuckler rogue.
Honestly,
The second
Yeah.
win's just a
Okay.
misdirect.
She's playing Arcane Archer.
yeah, no,
Arcane Archer isn't Arcane Archer like classified as the worst fighter subclass?
It's not Crash Shot.
Yeah, I've heard someone say like it's like if you took all the worst parts of being a ranger
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
then
well, actually, here's a fun thing: it's sort of classified as the worst fighter subclass, but in a lot of ways, it's actually classified as better than a ranger.
no.
Well, Rangers are better now, though. So
Rangers are
maybe-
much better now.
Yeah,
Drake
yeah,
Warden,
now.
Yeah, way better.
I've actually in
Gloomstalker.
the session I DM, I have an Arcane Archer, and I've actually chatted with them, and I've made it so that because the Arcane Archer charges, that's what really hurts them because it's like 2 per long rest. So
Yeah.
I've made it now that it will scale off his intelligence modifier.
Oh, even better. Yeah.
That's
So
good.
The funny thing
it won't break it, so he will at least have 3 charges now, and he can make it more if he wants to invest in that.
It's funny that you mentioned that, like, you know, the ranger class, like, you know, is pretty weak. And a lot of people for a long time before they did a lot of the new classes with ranger would say that the best way to play a ranger is to play a fighter
Yeah.
and just take archery proficiency and then just like roll into like battle master and just use the maneuvers to do
Yeah, a
crazy
little
shit with them.
bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
or,
then
or like
you-
you could do samurai, you could do that, give yourself advantage, like
Yes.
that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yep. The new ranger subclasses, I have to say, like Drake Warden and Gloomstalker in particular.
They
That
are.
was amazing.
They're very good.
And
Apparently
They've done really well
the
with them.
Swarm Keeper's good.
Swarm Keeper's really cool for the player who's really ready to put in work and work on things. Horizon Walker is
I was
also
just gonna say,
quite cool.
yeah,
Claire, you okay?
I really like the look of the Horizon Walker. I was very tempted to do that.
She was DMing a game with her
My
brother,
brother.
her friend, and myself,
Oh yeah.
and he took Swarm Keeper, and basically like she so
You can't hit them. You can't
No.
hit them at all levels.
Can't hit them.
through because it was a one shot. So she threw the big bad with the one shot, and he just teleported around the room. And it's like you try and take a shot, and then he gets the ability to teleport. So
Wait, was that Stormkeeper or Horizon Walker?
Swarm Keeper. That was
Yeah.
Swarm Keeper.
Shit.
Yeah, because
I'm not sure how it plays.
moved by the
They
swarms.
moved by the swarm.
Oh. Wow, okay.
I haven't looked into Swarm Keeper as much as
No,
I should
it's
have.
the,
I think
the
I
one
will.
subclass of Ranger I have no idea
Because
about.
Horizon
Yeah.
Walker I know quite well because I had a lot of fun playing around with it and I had an idea about how to like modify the class slightly just to give it a bit more flavor and a bit more fun.
Yeah.
And so I was having a bit of a play around with it and basically making a Fey Walker or a Fey Traveler, which is like a different version of the Horizon Walker based on
That
Fey
makes
abilities.
sense, though.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I was having a bit of a play around with that. I can't help myself with the homebrew subclasses and races and stuff like that. I
it's
can't
good.
help myself.
Fun.
It's great.
So I will. Like,
One
if I ever
day.
finish that, I'll publish it because I'm trying to publish everything that I work on now because I just potter around and modify so many things. I'm trying my best to publish them on both the wiki and on D&D Beyond for anyone who wants to use them. I can't promise they've all been play tested. All the ones you see in our sessions, we're play testing them right now, and I'll adjust as need be. But yeah, if there's any there that haven't featured in any of the sessions, I can't promise they've been play tested. I'll put a comment at the bottom for those that I have play tested and confirmed are slightly balanced. But I can promise that none of the stuff that I've put out is as unbalanced as some of the Tash's stuff. I'll promise that. Now,
yeah.
Matthew,
Ooh,
Niles, level 2.
Niles.
Owlin
Level
Monk.
2, I do-
Level 2 gets you some stuff.
Yeah, so I don't get my subclass yet, which
Not yet.
is a bit of a shame because I really want to play this homebrew subclass that Owen has made.
Have
for me,
we
which I'm
have
very
we
excited
revealed the
to.
name yet?
I don't know if we've. I know what it is. I don't think
Yeah.
we've revealed it to the rest of
Have
the
I?
guys.
Do you guys know what it is yet? Have I said it?
No,
No.
no idea.
Alright, we'll leave it then. No need to share it right
We'll
now.
leave it then. We'll leave it then. But no, level 2 does get me some things. So I do have my dedicated weapon, which means that I can have a monk weapon once per short rest. So I can commune with a weapon, and that becomes my monk weapon, which I get proficiency with, which is pretty cool. I get my key points.
Yes,
Hey.
baby.
And with my key points, I can do Flurry of Blows, always a monk classic. I can do my Patient Defense, or I can do Step of the Wind, which will be really fun to use in combat, depending. And I also get Unarmored Movement. So as long as I'm not wearing any armor, I can move an extra 10 feet while walking around,
Which is quite nice.
which is really good. And then it's
Sure.
yeah.
Sorry, does your flying speed match your walking speed? Is that how it works?
Yes.
Oh god damn.
However, can you read out the monk thing for me? just says,
what does
without
it say? Starting
armor,
at level-
your walking speed increases by 10 feet.
Yeah. It does say. I mean, what does it say? Starting at second level, your speed increases by 10 feet while you are not
then it's
wearing
speed.
armor or
It's
shield.
flying speed too.
Shield. The
And
bonus
swimming
increases
speed.
when you reach certain monk levels, as shown in the monk table.
Well,
Yeah,
there you go
it
then.
doesn't say walking speed. It just says speed.
Well,
He's gonna
if
be
it-
a flyboy.
Yep.
Damn,
Well,
you're
if
gonna
it
be so
doesn't
quick.
say specifically walking speed, then it's all speeds.
And then at
Swimming
level
speed.
9, I get real crazy.
Real
That's-
crazy
At level
when things
9,
go-
that's when I can move along vertical surfaces and across the
Yeah.
grid and shit like that.
Monks,
which
man.
is
Spider out.
super exciting. Like, I'll be everywhere. I'll be
Monks.
everywhere and nowhere.
You will.
And finally, Jared, what does Krasus get at level 2 as a wizard? Level 2, I believe.
So
I've got
the
some
wizards,
stuff for you.
yeah, level 2 is quite important. That's when I choose my
Yeah.
subclass. So, so basically, looking at the carriage and how it was driven by enchantment magic and, well, not enchantment magic per se, but the way the cogs are rolling and stuff like that, and being where we are now, looking at these like, these clockwork things, that is reminiscent of some form of time magic in my understanding. And one of Krasus's major things that he studied was time magic. So I am going to be a chronoenergy wizard.
Ooh. Which is the
Nice.
the famously cool subclass created by Matt Mercer, I believe.
No, I don't think it is.
Isn't
Chronogen.
No, I think chronoenergy.
Is in
Much.
Dimension 20.
Oh, I thought it was.
Matt Mercer's was Dunamancy.
Oh, it's Geomancy. I'm getting confused again. You're right. Yep. Apologies. The famously very complicated subclass of wizard, Geomancy.
Oh, no, apparently the chronoenergy wizard is a subclass from the Explorer's Guide to World and Mount.
Oh, there you go. It is Matt Mercer.
Oh.
I thought
there
it
you
was.
go.
I was going to say.
My bad.
I backed down on that
Apologies.
so quickly. I need to stand to my
I didn't
guns a
actually
bit,
know. I didn't actually know that. But no, I'm going chronoenergy wizard.
which is a really
So-
really fun subclass and matches really nicely
Yeah.
with a lot of your features. And something I thought at some point maybe Lockie would jump into in the future. Maybe take a dip
Yeah.
into wizard and
Yeah.
pick up a few levels of chronoenergy.
I definitely did think
Dunamancy.
about that, but I was just riding the high of Artificer so hard.
Oh man, yeah, I get it. No shade. I agree. It was high levels of Artificer are just fantastic.
It's definitely like one of the things is I was thinking of divination, but then Tom plays divination wizard, so I thought
Curse of Strahd.
give
Yeah.
the viewers something different. See a chronoenergy wizard in action. Not to mention it intrigued me, and then all the time stuff, all the time shenanigans last campaign.
Yeah.
I thought it would just be fun to keep up that theme, especially with all this clockwork stuff now rolling around. Like it just seems really, it seems like it fits quite thematically.
I'll let you know right now, the time mumbo jumbo that we had a bit of fun with playing around with time and time manipulation was very highly requested to return for
Oh,
Return of the
okay.
Giants from Tyranny of
Welcome.
Dragons. More than a few people have messaged in both Discord and on the YouTube comments to say, please more of this. Apparently people liked how
Perfect.
we handled mucking around with time.
I feel like
Well-
our party is already pretty much Doctor Who sort of Christmas special right
Yeah.
now. So,
Yeah.
It's like the 60th anniversary special. Yeah, no, it's gonna be a lot of fun. There's been a lot of requests for more of our time stuff. And I can't remember, it was someone in the Discord was like, this is exactly how time travel should be described. Like when we did that whole thing with Lockie mucking around with time, they were very happy and impressed with our accurate depiction of what reverse and forward time manipulation would look like. Part of my sort of response to that was like, yeah, but we also don't know what that would look like. Like these are all theories. We're giving it our best guess, but thank you for agreeing with my best guess. But
That's very true.
we don't actually, unless they are a time traveler, in which case I apologize. You are right.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I take, and then just a few extra spells as well. I think every level I get to add 2 spells free to my spell book.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
awesome.
there will be absolutely, as you know from Tyranny of Dragons, I do scatter spell scrolls and spell books around the world for you to add to your
Perfect.
spell book, as you know. So also don't worry too much about that. You're not going to be starved for magic, as you know. Nostea is a land filled with magic. I think
Well,
Theramarca's
I know
house,
how
despite being
expensive-
new, is still haunted.
But I know how expensive adding spells can be to the spell book. So that's why I've taken herbalism and alchemy, the alchemist stuff, because I'm hoping to start turning that into a side hustle, like I said before, so I can, I can sort of back my adding of spells to the book and all the gold that's required. One
of the things I will say is that if you have someone teaching you the spell, it does reduce the costs a little bit. So, for example, if you had someone back at the guild headquarters who was a very accomplished wizard/artificer, and there were some spells that he might know that you might know, he might be able to help teach you those spells at a bit of a discount.
Sounds great.
Do we still have access to that wizard we found in the last campaign that was
Balthazar, I believe was his name?
Yeah,
the Tetra.
Yeah. Oh, I have no idea what happened to
your
him.
characters would have no idea.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
With Lyra?
Lyra might know. Lyra, you would know that Balthazar hung around the guild for a couple of days following the events of the Tyranny of Dragons campaign conclusion, and then headed to the Unseen University, and has since taken up residence there as one of their new lecturers. He's been lecturing there and working at the Unseen University in Oxford for teaching students.
Cool. I wasn't sure if he was
working,
sticking around the
working in the library.
Guild around it. Okay.
No, he would definitely still be sticking around. But
Before we change topic, with the spell teaching, does it have to be a very professional practice sort of magic? Like it sort of the PCs, if we have sort of some spells that would overlap into Krasus's book, could we teach like in sort of downtime? It's like, oh hey, I've got this thing. I can show you how to do it.
So absolutely yes, but I'm going to add the caveat that he would still need the spell written down in book or scroll form. Because of the way wizard magic works, it's all about the understanding of the core magic itself, understanding how it's formed. Whereas sorcerers and druids, your understanding of spells is a bit different. Clerics, again, is different. It's a gift from the gods. It's divine. Paladins, it's through the oath. So it's a little bit different. So, but you could help reduce the cost, absolutely. Rather than being 100 gold, you might be able to bring it down to 50 gold, let's say.
I think it is 50 gold already.
Yeah, then rather than 50 gold, it might be a bit less. It might be 40 or 25 gold. If it's a spell that you know and are very familiar with and you've used a lot, as long as he's still got the scroll or he's still got a spell book to help describe it in wizard scholarly language, then yeah, absolutely, 100%.
I mean, I can try, but I basically just poke at the reality and see what happens.
I just concentrate and things occur around me. It's magic.
Yeah,
it's magic. It's like magic.
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect. Well, all of you finish your level up to level 2. All of you finish your short rest. During your short rest, the light shining up from the sphere in the center of town, while not visible through the stained glass windows, the light itself is. Occasionally these flashes of colored light as this white light emerging from the sphere in the center of town illuminates through the stained glass windows on the northern side of the church face, the northwestern side of the church face, casting these shadows that move across. Over the course of your hour-long rest, the pulses definitely seem to be coming faster than they were before. It's subtle, but everyone who has a passive perception of 12 or greater would notice that the pulses seem to be occurring more frequently. Your rest is not interrupted. No clockwork ants scurry through the church to start dismantling it. No more of the clockwork spiders or scorpions emerge from the undercroft or up in the bell tower. The church is truly empty. As you're approaching the end of your hour-long rest, you do... Oh, sorry, you go. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, after I've done the dismantling of the drone stuff and get samples, I will find a nice place to relax and bring out one of my corny romance novels, and I start reading The Lusty Dragonborn.
Don't feel any need to read it out loud. I know you've asked ChatGPT for a number of excerpts of The Lusty Dragonborn, but we don't need to hear it.
I have short novels.
What I will do, because it's hilarious, if you wanted to put them up on the wiki, we could easily do that and have like a list of Krasus's favorite novels. And if you want to give like Krasus's reviews, like stars.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Oh my god.
It would be in stars because he's a
Astral Elf. Yeah. I
Tetra
give
will provide the
this
stars.
3 serious mages, 1 Ursa minor.
And the good
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
is with ChatGPT, it's PG. It can't do like mature stuff, so it's actually like great to chuck on the interwebs.
I'll make it sexy. Don't worry, guys. I'll
Oh, okay. You edit it.
I'll add some
I'll do
good
some
stuff.
art for it.
I'll do some art for it. Do you know what though? I did start like my entire like drawing started with doing anatomical drawings for uni. Not that kind of anatomical, more like musculature, skeletal, like for study. I've actually skipped most of the artist stage of like drawing nudes. I've never done any nude art ever. So because I'm not an artist, I'm just someone
I
who
have.
draws randomly. Hey, how was that?
It's good. Yeah, it's actually
Maybe-
really good.
Maybe Matt'll do the artwork for the Lusty Dragonborn then. He's nodding
Yeah, Lusty
emphatically.
Lusty Dragonborn is in reference to the Lusty Argo.
Oh yeah, don't worry.
Oh, yeah.
I get the reference. Everyone who's played Skyrim knows the Lusty Argonian maid.
Yeah.
What's her name? It's like lifts
Oh,
her
it's a
tail or
Lusty
something.
Dragonborn
It's like
maid, that's it.
it's just
Yeah.
it's so bad.
So bad.
Can you imagine being paid actual money as a game developer to write that and put it in the game?
Alright, I'm gonna go on ChatGPT now and actually do this.
What's he gonna do?
No time to waste. Just definitely do it right
Alright.
now.
But we can continue.
Nice.
As we get to the end, oh, thank you. That's very kind of you, Jared. As we get to the end, as we get to the end of your hour's rest, with only sort of about 10 minutes, 15 minutes left to go, you do hear the sounds of, I would say the sounds of combat, the sound of metal striking against metal, and then a single strained cry from a humanoid-like voice. This sort of cry of coming from, probably to your ears, coming from the almost due west of where you are in the church.
Oh,
And then
does it?
silence.
I look around and go, should we go check that out? That sounded awful.
Something biological. So yes, probably should.
Yes, let's go have a look.
Yeah, we should suss it out.
Just
Yeah.
be careful.
I'll be a nice gem and say you still finish your
Could you-
short rest.
Could you ask your owl to just maybe do a quick flyby
Yeah.
and back again, maybe just to make sure we're not walking into a trap or something?
No, I look at my watch and I go, oh, we've actually still got 15 minutes on our
Yeah,
short
it's still got
rest.
15 minutes of
Um,
our rest.
it can wait. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, five
I'm still on Smoko.
That is a very Australian reference, Smoko. For international listeners and viewers, Smoko is what Aussies call taking a break in the middle of a hard day's work. And you can have as many of those as you want. Traditionally, used to smoke cigarettes. Nowadays, used to enjoy a
Morning
biltong.
tea.
Yeah, bubble tea, biltong, a vape, or a
Okay.
or just time not doing work, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seem to find that a lot of the people who do council work, specifically those in agriculture, Jared, for example, taking a lot of smoko, breaks.
Oh, dear.
Yeah,
Like me.
Jared.
I work for the council, but I'm a conservationist.
Conservation
so
specifically.
yeah, so we
But you
actually
take-
So you
like
work
a lot of
hard.
smoko?
He works hard. It's
we
the other
actually-
people.
We're one of the few crews that actually do work hard.
Yeah.
We're all there for the, conservation side of things.
Oh yeah, coffee
You're actually
too.
there
Well
'cause you
pointed out,
care.
Jack.
So
So-
it's so
That's true.
it's so annoying when we're actually taking a legitimate lunch break and everyone's like, all the public are like, get off your asses and do some work. We're sitting there like we've just done like 1,000 plantings.
Yeah, this is mandated work. You're only seeing us because you're on your lunch break, having a drive
Exactly.
around. Like, someone's pointed out coffee is also a relevant lunch break. Yeah, so in Sweden, when you take a break from work to have coffee and a cake, it's called fika. In Australia, it's called smoko. You tell me which is the more socially advanced culture.
Well, at least how it says a hand symbol, right? Like I was in a factory and one guy would be like that from the other end of the factory, and everyone would do it as well. And then they all just go.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
As you
None of them
finish
make
your
sense.
as you all finish your smoko or fika, depending on where you sit on the cultural sliding scale, and begin moving out of the church, Krasus, did you want to send your owl ahead to scout? Obviously, with Find Familiar, you can use an action to look through your familiar's eyes if you needed to.
Yeah, I definitely would do that. It allows us to sort of stay out of harm's way while getting a bit of a better look.
Brilliant. As the rest of you still sort of huddle inside the church, maybe peeking out through the doors, keeping an eye out for any danger that you can see in the streets, Krasus, you close your eyes and focus. And as your astral owl takes off from your shoulder, its talons very briefly digging in and not cutting through the protective coverings, but certainly with a bit of a forceful push off, it silently takes to the sky again. Probably, again, surprising most of you who are not used to that very silent way in which owls fly. They genuinely make almost no noise with their feathers as they take off. It's actually kind of spooky. As the astral owl takes off, it begins flapping up through the air, gaining altitude and speed quite quickly. Krasus, you close your eyes and focus your vision through its senses. As you do so, the world swims into focus. The colors a little bit different to what you're used to looking through your own eyes, and the world at this much sharper, much crisper resolution. Blues are a lot more muted, whereas the reds and greens seem much more vibrant to your owl eyes as you look through your familiar's eyes. And as you peer about looking through the town, your sense of movement and being able to quickly spy moving objects seems even more heightened. In fact, you can see that the town is clearly overrun. There are, to your eyes, maybe 100 of these ants, these clockwork ants moving about the town, slowly deconstructing it piece by piece. There are also more of the spiders. You can see towards the north what looks to be a series of much nicer, much more well-maintained townhouses that have been bundled together in almost like a small estate. Beautiful gardens out the front. A group of spiders, 2 or 3 of them working together, have actually tied their steel cables around a tree and are busy uprooting it, while one of the spiders injects this acrid venom down at the base, eroding away at the roots. The other 2 are pulling on the branches, these metal cables tying it down and slowly uprooting this tree as a series of worker ants begin to move in a line towards this tree that is being uprooted. In the center of town, from above, it's really clear that where the sphere stands now was once a building and the town square. The building is gone. You can see the rubble and debris clearly from up here, and to your owl's eyes, it looks like stuff has been pushed away and up, as if the sphere rose from underneath the ground.
Okay,
However, so you go.
More. No. Go, continue.
However, what grabs your owl's attention is motion, frantic motion coming from quite far to the west. On the other side of the sphere, a couple of blocks away from where the church is now, you can see what is left of a guardsman. The scorpion that has cut him in half, standing above the body, is now slowly moving away while ants begin to move towards this guardsman. Looks like it was probably a male, judging by the appearance and the tightness of the breastplate around the shoulders and the padding. Probably a male human or male half-elf from your vantage point up in the sky. And you can see that not only has he been cut in half, but his sword, which he was using to defend himself, and his shield have been sliced in half as well. Ooh. The edges are smoking slightly, and this dull red glow is fading from the scorpion's tail as the scorpion backs off and allows the ants to move in and begin pulling this guard away. Could you make me a perception check for your owl, please?
Oh, okay,
Krasus?
for the owl. So
I believe you have advantage on these checks.
Yeah, because it has keen hearing and sight. It has advantage on perception checks that rely on hearing or sight. Yes. And I use its perception, which is it's a 3, so...
I probably should have had you roll this before I describe everything, but all of those descriptions still fit in with a 15, so that's perfect. Yeah, 15, 13. Yeah, wow, not as speedy hot rolls as you would have liked, I guess. But 15's still good. 15's very good. You also spy the building that the guards seem to have been rushing either towards or away from, you're not sure, looks to be some sort of brewery and tavern. The area around it has large stills set up, hidden under a very thin, almost like buffeted metal sheet covering, almost like a cast iron or a tin roof that's very, very thin above these massive stills. Probably, Krasus, your understanding of science tells you that a lot of stills are pressurized, and that pressure needs to go somewhere if something were to burst or rupture. Upwards is normally the safest option rather than outwards. The brewery itself or tavern seems to be quite well maintained. It doesn't look like it's actually suffered any damage yet. And you notice the ants that are moving towards the guardsmen move in a perfect circle around the outside of the tavern, giving it a wide berth, avoiding it entirely. You also spy, looking out through one of the windows, a face that ducks below and hides behind the windowsill.
Whoa. Survivors. Potentially. Okay, so to make this a bit more aware for everyone, I'll end the link at the moment with my bird, my familiar. I'll keep having it fly around the skies.
If you wanted to, for purposes of speed, if you wanted to have just been literally saying out loud exactly what your eye is seeing, you can absolutely have been doing that.
Well, I'm gonna actually, when I snap out of it, I'm gonna actually do minor illusion.
Oh,
and I'm on a 5 foot like screen, and I'm gonna have you guys all see like snapshots. I'm gonna do snapshots of like the whole area, snapshots of like the places of interest, snapshots of the guard, the scorpion, snapshot of the building with the ants around it in a perfect circle, and the survivor.
Yeah, brilliant.
That's so cool.
That's cool.
Very cool. That is very cool. All right, so it looks like we have some people holding out at least, and also seems like they're probably wary enough of them that they don't want to go near it anymore. So good on them.
Yes.
What's in there that? Sorry, what's in there that these ants are afraid of? I mean, they had no qualms about the scorpions. At least had no qualms about coming and cutting us down, and same with the spiders. I mean, whatever's in that tavern has got to be terrifying for them, surely.
Maybe they don't like alcohol.
That's
a good point. We should.
No, I think. What I think the ants might be doing is creating a bit of a. I think there are survivors inside, and they're obviously creating a circle around it, so the survivors actually have no way of getting out of that area.
So I should say, it's not that they're forming a perimeter around it. It's as they move towards it from the sphere, they immediately split into two lines that give a wide berth.
Okay, so they're not doing they're not doing a boundary. It's almost like when they hit that spot, then they go around it.
They immediately turn to the side and move around.
I know what it is. It's chalk.
What?
I was gonna say it's like Bug's Life when they're walking, the leaf falls on it. It's a leaf.
Oh, such a good movie, Bug's Life.
That was a great movie.
Good movie.
Underrated.
Yeah,
underrated.
Because Ants came out at the same time.
Ants was also a good movie.
I always thought Bug's Life was more popular than Ants, but
I thought Bug's Life was much more popular.
Yeah,
it is.
Cult following.
Yeah.
Doesn't Ants have the cool battle there against the Ants?
Yes, it does.
The termites. Does the answer the termites? Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was
And Sylvester Stallone is the big army ant. He's
That's
great.
right.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's hilarious.
It's also got the cool glad wrap scene where he's like, "There's some sort of barrier around the food."
Oh yeah.
True.
But no, I'll look at everyone and oh, sorry. Yeah, Harry, go ahead.
Are there in the snapshot, were there like broken ants around like in the perimeter at all? Does it look like they entered and they were shot at and then like?
No, it just looks like as they've moved from the sphere towards other areas of the town, and as they're moving towards other locations, they're completely avoiding the tavern itself. In fact,
it looks like it's always been avoided.
Yeah, the buildings around the tavern have almost been completely disassembled, being only a few, probably like 20, 30 meters away from the sphere. The tavern itself is actually quite close to the sphere, but has been completely untouched.
I mean, maybe they have some sort of magical defense?
Magical or something along those lines. But I think in any case, it would probably be worth trying to get to the tavern, and perhaps the survivors there might be able to tell us what's happening, and perhaps we can help them get out as well.
Yes, I agree with that. I think the survivors, they can give us intel that we didn't have previously. So they're the ones to obviously, I think we should get there and help them if we can. I guess that's what our job is the Tempest Guild.
We should probably give a wide berth to that scorpion as well. I don't want to don't want to end up like that guardsman, that poor fellow.
I also don't want to end up with another bolt in my leg.
That's true too.
That's fair. Me neither.
Sorry, what was that now?
A distraction?
Maybe.
In front of everybody, if you like.
So
What
I will say, Krasus, you did observe the scorpion moving away from the area, having dealt with the guardsman. It did seem to be heading towards the north, rather purposefully, when you last looked through your astral owl's eyes.
Awesome.
I wonder what the guardsman was doing out there.
I wonder if he belonged to the survivors.
Now, I'm not sure if that's the best idea, because, if you're out there by yourself, you'll
Okay.
taken apart.
Okay.
The ants didn't seem overly concerned with us when we were walking past them, so perhaps it'll be fine. Perhaps they'll let us go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep an eye out for any other scorpions, but
I think the spiders and the scorpions we should be a bit more wary of, but I think the ants seem non-combative by the looks of it. That's just my observation, though. I don't know if it's any truth to it.
and
What was that? Sorry, Claire? What was that? Sorry, that sounded important.
I said famous last words.
Oh, you did say that, didn't you? Yeah.
We'll say.
And if we get within 30 feet of the building, as long as I can see through the window, I can sort of pop myself inside as a bit of a ability. And, assuming we can't get in because the doors are locked or something, we can go in from the inside. But
As long as you are very forthcoming with your intentions, I think that would be okay. I'd be a bit startled as a survivor if you popped into existence next to me out of nowhere.
very true.
Just be careful. I don't want you to get on the wrong side of a sword or a spear.
Yeah, no, I didn't think about that. Do we have?
Let's go knock on the door.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure that'll be fine.
That sounds straight.
What's the worst thing that would happen?
sure. What's the worst?
Well, I reckon
If you weren't jinxed before, now you are. That's the.
We're definitely fucked.
Well,
Who's gonna get bisected now?
I believe it's bifurcated in this case.
Bifurcated, there you go. I knew it was one of those. I was like,
Bisected would still work, but I like the idea of going up through the middle to cut you in two perfect
Yeah,
halves.
bifurcated, yeah.
Alright.
well,
Let's do it.
I think we should proceed with caution and stealth, and I shall
naturally.
use my owl friend above to keep an eye.
Oh, I can join him. Stretch my wings a little.
Well, yeah, you can if you like. It might be a little bit more noticeable, but I don't know how much these ants will take that into consideration.
No, they haven't seen your owl yet, so.
Well, they don't care.
More they don't care. Al might be onto something there.
Well, we have a plan.
Yes,
Let's
get
put
bifurcated.
it in motion.
I'll keep low to the rooftops. Any of the remaining rooftops, and try and keep out of sight if I can.
Perfect.
Alrighty. As you emerge from the church and back into the town, probably the sight of the buildings partially destroyed, the rubble all around you, comes as a bit of a surprise again. Having only just been out here before, but the effect of that much devastation probably is hard to sink in with only one viewing. And as you begin pushing through the area, you can see signs of where people have been hurt. As you walk alongside one of the ruined buildings, you can see that there is an arm emerging from underneath a collapsed roof. Blood underneath and all around, dried now. Probably occurred some days ago, if not longer. The ant drones, again, seem to ignore you or not perceive you as a threat. Occasionally, as you walk across some of the pathways where they're walking, one or two of them will stop, cock their heads, their feelers sort of moving a little bit as they sense and taste the air, click their mandibles a few times, and then carry on with their work. As you pass by, closer to the sphere than you've ever been, only about 20-30 feet, you can see clearly the line of ants guarding the outside of the sphere. And that light, the...
Wait, are we in 20-30 feet?
20-30 meters, sorry.
Okay.
Away from it. Sorry, I used...
That's fine, that's fine. Because then I could have detect magic, but that's probably too far then.
I used the wrong type of measurement. You are roughly... So where you are from here, you're 45 feet away. So actually, not that far. If you moved up to here, you moved a little bit closer. You could get within 30 feet, right on the line of ants, is what I was about to describe. That border of ants, that protective border, immediately sort of spotting you as you guys begin moving, and also keeping an eye on you, Niles, even sticking to the sky. There are no rooftops near the sphere to stay close to, having been destroyed, so you're forced to be a little bit further away from the party than you might have originally wanted. Down actually further towards the south, where a number of the townhouses and homes are less damaged. But even you flying high above clearly are identified by this border of ants. Standing only a few feet away from each other, this line guarding the outside of the sphere in a perfect circle immediately open their mandibles and watch you. Unblinking crystalline eyes following your movements, the mandibles twitching ever so slightly as you make any sudden movements, but they make no aggressive moves.
Are these ants visually different in any other way to the worker ants?
A lot of them look a fair bit larger. The mandibles much more jagged and sharp, and you can see that their thoraxes, unlike the other ants we've been gathering materials which are much larger, these ones are much smaller. The head seems to be disproportionately large on these ones as compared to the ants gathering materials throughout the town.
Gotcha.
As you progress a little bit further, there is a sudden flurry of activity from one of the houses below you, Niles. And then suddenly this burst of red energy flies up through the air near you, this line, almost like a beam of light shooting up through the air. And as you turn, you can see two of the Scorpion drones scuttling out, one on top of the roof, the other from the area underneath, rushing towards the party. I am going to throw you guys into initiative as you see these two Scorpion drones rushing towards the party.
Oh no.
At this point, you're only about... you're very close to the tavern, actually, probably only about 30-40 meters away. 30-40 feet away, sorry. Miles,
I'd probably argue that I am separate from the party. Yeah.
Down here.
Yeah, that's good.
Could I please have you all roll me initiative? Make sure you
I
keep any
better
tokens.
roll well. I'm in trouble. Oh no.
I need to roll for the Scorpion. That's the previous roll.
That's pretty good. I'll take 20.
I can't even find
That's
it.
less good.
I accidentally rolled twice. Can I take the first one, which was a 16?
Yes, you
I
can.
rolled terribly.
You are
I'm on a streak.
the worst.
I'm on just a real bad rolling streak.
Jared, does your wizard get like really good like initiative?
Yep.
Because if his, that's sick.
Because of the
I,
chronomancy.
I get +3 from having Dex.
That's crazy.
Yep.
And I get +3 from having Dex, and then being a Chrono Energy Wizard allows me to add my Intelligence modifier, which is +3. So
that's amazing.
+3, +3, +6.
Yep.
Nice.
In another game that didn't go anywhere, but I was playtesting a Paladin. I was doing the Order of the Watch, and it gets like really, really cool like passive bonuses that improve initiative as well. So like, you know how like all Paladins get like that aura.
Yeah,
it's the same thing, but like everything within its aura gets like a bonus to its initiative, and so you can just like if you pair that with like a rogue or like a character like a chronomancer like that, like you can just have like a strike team, like just bang, or a monk or something. Yeah, you just have like a strike team that just all goes first. It's pretty cool.
Anyone who has the observant feat as well, I think that gets you bonus to initiative, doesn't it?
Fated Augur as well.
Yeah. Oh my god, there's a lot of stuff you can do.
Harengons?
Harengons
Harengons have a thing called Hair Trigger.
That's right.
Plus proficiency to initiative.
That's sick.
Also,
That's
Hair
really
Trigger's
cool.
a great name. I like that.
Yeah.
I love it.
I always
all the
appreciate a
puns.
good.
I love it.
Always appreciate a good pun.
That's a great one.
So it isn't the observant feat, it's the alert feat.
Alert feat. Thank you. Sorry, not
Oh,
observant.
that's right.
That's what I was thinking of.
Maybe I should get that. I'd be like plus 11 for initiative.
Fuck you know, that's insane.
Actually, I might. That's a good idea. I might do that.
Shit. You have to talk to your DM about feats. As you as you all begin suddenly coming alert, the scuttling of these mechanical creatures pushing out from underneath. Krasus, you are actually the first to act. What would you like to do?
Okay, so we have noticed the scorpions.
Oh yeah, you see this massive blast of red light shine up through the air towards Niles. Niles ducking and weaving and just dodging out of the way. Before you see one of the scorpions emerging onto the roof, another one emerging from inside a house, pushing through the window, crashing through, and dropping what looks to be a large pewter cauldron with its claws as it snips them ominously. These do not look damaged like the one in the church.
Alright.
This could be bad.
Should we run to the brewery?
Oh,
I don't want to
that's
draw the
actually-
scorpions to the survivors there.
Yeah.
I yell.
I mean, maybe
It's
running
an
is not
empty
a bad
area.
idea, is if they haven't been able to get there, maybe they're not able to get there.
I mean, to be honest, if we put our forces together with the survivors, we might have a better chance at actually giving a good old go to these scorpions.
Okay. Make it quick.
All right, everyone.
Can only judge these lasers for so long.
Renee's lingering through the lasers.
Okay. So, the building of interest, is that this building here, Owen?
Yes, on the map, it's the large tavern towards the west with the stills outside the back section of it.
And now this is a bigger map. Is the tiles 5 or 10 feet?
10 feet.
Okay. Yep, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Okay.
That should be accurate now.
Okay. Let us do. Okay, so we're going to be trying to run away.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a minor illusion here. Create the sound okay. I'm going to do it here, where one of these scorpions are actually be able to see it. And I'm going to have I'm going to make it look like a survivor's coming out of that rubble. Trying to create almost like a distraction.
So minor illusions are 5 foot, so more of a halfling than anything else. So you have this halfling still image. Suddenly.
I'm having if it's humans, I'm going to have him emerging from the rubble, from a crawling position.
So minor illusion is a still image, and it's a 5 foot square, 5 foot cube. So you could have half the human emerging from under the rubble if that's what you're going for.
Actually, no, I might have. Actually, I do like the idea of more maybe a dwarf or something, coming out from the rubble, but appearing he's now he's walked out to try and grab because if it's appearing from the rubble, it'll probably be enough. So I'm going to do that. A dwarf here.
Yep.
That's just come out the rubble, and the scorpion hopefully will see that.
So a little bit south of where you guys are, but still allowing you to run past, sort of between you and the scorpions, creating this still image of a dwarf hefting like an axe, looking aggressive, because it's a still image, remember. So what would you like it to look like?
Definitely what you just described sounds great. Provides make it look like it's a threat.
Yeah, easy peasy. Anything else in your turn, Krasus? That's an action.
I'm going to run 30 feet. So I'm going to go 10 feet and then do this. And then, I'm going to have the image here. So I might even just do a quick little drawing.
You go. I've got one here. There you go. Done.
Oh, okay, perfect. I'll just move my drawing.
I'll use Raspip from Curse of Strahd.
Nice. Perfect.
Brilliant. Niles.
Yeah, I mean, Krasus puts down the distraction. I look at the brewery and I just book it. I'm going to use my action to take the dash action and fly 80 feet
Thank God you could fly.
Nice. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Oh god, what can I select? Oh, that's because I'm selecting the drone. I'm not selecting. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 up to here. And then I'll use a key point and use the dash action as a bonus action and continue flying. Just booking it.
You were a bit further south of the rest of the party over the townhouses. You use your movement to fly directly away from these drones over the top of the party before taking a sudden left-hand turn, flapping westward towards the top of the tavern, using your key point to sprint through the air.
Yeah.
You almost leave an after image, Niles. You move so quickly.
Yeah.
You should probably alert the survivors, be like, "Hey, we're your friends."
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as a free action, if I can, I'd probably be like,
Just call
"Hello, we need your help.
Hello, we need your help." Amazing.
Help."
The drones are next. The drone that is on the ground is going to move towards the closest perceivable threat. 10, 20, it moves up towards the illusion. The claws crack in and try to grab at this illusionary creature, but of course meet no resistance as it pushes through. You watch as the drone sort of pauses for a second, these scorpion claws suddenly falling still before its eyes then move up towards the rest of you. And it is then going to fire a stinger into the group. Does a 17 hit you now, Liz?
Nope.
As the stinger flies towards you, it just bounces off your stony exterior. As this shot bolt just bounces off and ricochets off into the distance. That's all it can do on its turn. The other scorpion is going to move down to the roof and spend its entire movement scuttling down the outside of the building and then dash towards the lot of you, but only getting within 10 feet of Harry, so still not far enough. Harry, it's your go next. As one of these scorpions scuttles towards you, pincers held out ominously, you have a sudden flashback to only an hour ago when one of these bolts that fires out from its stinger crashed into your leg and did some pretty heavy damage. The creature's not close enough to be within range right now, though, of the claws. Stinger is, but...
Well, Stinger is to shoot bolts at me. Harry gets the hell out of dodge, so that's 5... Oh, so each square is 10 feet? Is that?
Each square is 10 feet, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm just going to trust the roll 20.
You can trust the roll 20.
Like, even with diagonals and all that? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you can trust it.
Okay, so Harry does 30 feet of movement, which is apparently here.
3 squares. Yep.
Then he does his bonus action to dash. Sorry. He uses his action to dash, which is another 30. And then I believe I have cunning action, which allows me to take my bonus action for a dash.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
So
Triple
this little
dash.
bunny, you just see everyone sees like he just thumps his leg and then just like starts like sprinting out of there.
So Harry, you move from the back of the group right at the rear, closer to the scorpions, and you just sprint past the rest of them. Rather than going around them, you bound over the top of Tetra, Nauthiz, and Lyra, your very lithe form crashing against the cobbles as you sprint forwards, almost this half run, half hop, dodging around Krasus before getting quite almost up to Niles, where Niles was right outside the tavern, only sort of 30 feet away from the tavern itself, the front door of the tavern. You have to jump over one of the ants that's moving back, avoiding the tavern in this big circle, and you now seem to be on the inside of whatever this circle of avoidance is. So it seems to be within 30 feet of the tavern. Now it's your turn.
Alright, well, I'm going to stick to the plan that I've been told. 5, 10, 15, 20. However, I will use my action to take the dodge action so that I can defend Krasus.
Just want to double check now each square's 10 feet. How many feet did you move?
I'm here. No,
Just
wait.
want to double check.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. There we go.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
And then you take the dodge action ready to defend Krasus. Brilliant. Lyra, you're up next.
She's gonna go 30 feet. 1, 2, and then pop up on the other side of Krasus. And yeah, okay, I'm gonna dash action as well, so do another 3. 1, 2.
So at the moment, Tetra's just been left behind as the rest of you just sprint forward. Tetra kind of like turns to look at the scorpion, then turns back to look at you, and then like double takes as all of you are just gone.
She sees out of the corner of her eye, but she's sort of just getting a feel for something.
Well, actually, it's your turn next, Tetra, and I can see that you've typed in chat. Do you want to say that out loud to Lyra as Lyra stands next to you?
Yeah, sure. I've got the plan. Run, Lyra. Run.
Run, my sweet summer child.
Wow.
You better got this as a run off.
Tetra.
All right, so she will go 10 feet down here.
So as you move 10 feet towards the south, closer towards Nauthiz and Krasus, keeping a bit of a distance between you and the illusion, as well as the scorpions.
Now,
Yes.
stop me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure a circle of 20 feet, by the looks of it, does that do 9 or does that do 4?
Do you want me to give you a... Here you go. I can do a little...
Oh, there you go.
So circle of 20 feet diameter
Yeah.
would look like this.
Okay.
Would you like to position that?
I
Where
would
you'd like it.
indeed. So what she'll do is it's not huge, but what you do is you put it in here so that if they try and come running through, at least there's mostly mess them up. So what it'll be is she'll start moving and she'll be hovering her hands over the ground, and there'll be one pull up here where it looks like a piece of the hexagonal stone goes, and then another one. And she'll pull them up.
Cool.
So what she's doing is she's going to cast Entangle.
Ooh.
This is what her Entangle looks like. It's not weeds and vines and sprouts. Instead, it's a like an area of stones.
Like the
that
Giant's
are
Causeway, I'm
with
thinking.
each other, and just sort of hold this magnetic resonance. So anyone trying to move through with anything metal or what have you will then be held.
I mean, even the iron in the blood could be enough to help, like, hold a little bit. Yeah, so
it explains like the vines and stuff.
Yeah, Giant's Causeway. Those. Yeah.
I'm picturing in my mind like the Giant's Causeway, these like black rocks, almost hexagonal shaped, rising from the ground in different heights, causing this very strange effect, vibrating very faintly. And as anyone goes near, they sort of pull down towards it as they have to try and like walk over, or even maybe it even increases gravity around it. Tetra. Okay, yeah, I can see you nodding, and Michael's got a very happy smile on his face. So, let's go with that then. Let's say gravity actually increases around these things as you create this very strange effect.
That's sick.
Yeah, Tetra, you drop down this spell, concentrating, focusing, and then letting the energy flow out from you, and the ground, basically between Nauthiz, the illusion, and the drones, forms these hexagonal pillars, not high enough to be difficult to climb over, but the energy humming above them creates almost like a heat wave effect, this warping and rippling of the air just above where these structures are formed. And then you use the rest of your movement to just head a little bit further north.
Yep, and that ends the movement. I don't have any. Yep, and so she'll sort of take up spot next to Krasus.
Fantastic. Krasus.
That's well been done, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Okay. Okay, so we've got the Entangle set up. I've got my minor illusion here. Just trying to think, is there anything else I should do? Yeah, I know. I should probably just run. I might just dash. I think it's probably a good idea. Alright, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60.
Krasus, as you sprint through, nimbly dodging by one of the clockwork ants to push past Harry and Lyra, you're now only within like 20 feet of the tavern entrance itself. You can see the massive stills on the sides, the steps leading up towards the tavern. There's even a little outdoor seating area right in front of you with some steps leading up to it.
Oh.
But it's all been untouched. And what strikes you and Niles most of all as you first arrive in this location, Niles looking down, Krasus looking up, there's still cups. A couple have been overturned. There's one or two chairs that have been overturned. There's still plates of food. Whatever happened clearly happened quickly. Anything else in your turn, Krasus?
I will quickly inspect the tavern itself for entryways, like entrances, because I'm not sure if things are boarded up. So I want to pinpoint some access.
Yeah, look, I'd even say just with your passive perception, you can see clearly there are two main entrances. One right on this, right above this seating area, this outdoor platform seating area. There's two big double doors that lead into the interior of the tavern. There's a few windows, again, none of which have been smashed or broken, that look to be closed and sealed. And then round the back where the stills are, you can see what looks to be probably like a small side door that has a large padlock on the outside of it.
Right.
But the front door, the entrance to the tavern, doesn't seem to be locked or boarded up at all.
I will, as I approach, I will say, as a free action, if there's anyone in there, we're here to help. So please allow us in, and together we can, come out of this alive.
You hear no response.
That's fine, as long as we stayed our attention to them. And Niles has said we're friendly, so hopefully, whoever is in there, is sort of getting that vibe.
Niles.
Not much I can do from over here, having sprinted in record fashion to get to this tavern.
Standing on the roof of the tavern, looking back at your friends. Yeah.
I probably I probably scan the roof. There's probably no access point in the roof or anything.
No, it doesn't look like it.
I'm just gonna drop down, with a bit of a flutter of the wings to sort of race my fall. I'm just going to sort of call out to the guys, or to any of the survivors. Hello, anyone in there? We mean you no harm.
You hear no response.
No response.
You hear no response.
I look at Krasus and I say, "Are you sure you saw a face in here?"
Niles, you saw it yourself. I showed that screenshot, so we know we saw that.
Screenshot.
It is a screenshot. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say screenshot.
I showed you that owl shot.
What? Yeah. What is? That's a good question. What would that even be? That image.
It's almost like a hologram, like a.
It's just an image. Even then, would we even understand? You know what? We can talk about that another time.
Owl grab.
You saw the image. And people would know what an image is, like art and stuff. But maybe try and find some access in.
Yeah, sure. I test the door. I see if it's locked.
The door's open. As you try the handles, the doorway opens, revealing a long corridor inside.
I walk in.
Yeah.
But I'm on my guard because this seems very suspicious.
Niles, as you walk into the tavern entryway, you can see there are a couple of different doors heading off from this main hallway. To your right, up ahead, it looks like the main tavern foyer itself. To your left, you can see what look to be maybe bathrooms. One of the doors is actually partially ajar, revealing a chamber pot built into the wall and a small barrel full of water for washing one's hands. And the corridor continues to the north of where you are, leading to a couple of other doors that seem to be closed. I'd say probably that's your full movement, like coming down, opening the doors, moving in. Is there anything else you'd like to do while you're in there, though?
As an action, I'd probably just want to maybe do a perception check to see if there's any obvious traps or anything that might have been set up to deter intruders at all.
Yep. Perception check. 7. Looking good, Niles. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah, nothing to worry about.
Nothing wrong. Looking good. as that's one of the relationship memes that Alice and I have. I think it was on a rental property. There was genuinely on the ad, it had nothing wrong, looking good on it. We disagreed with that statement fundamentally.
Okay.
But I just love that. It's one of the things we always say, nothing wrong, looking good.
Yeah. I'm not used to having a character with low perception. I mean, even still, I got a +4 to my perception.
Yeah, +4. Nothing wrong.
I'm used to playing Yerbeth, who has a 13.
Yeah, exactly right.
To see everything. Yeah. Yeah,
Brilliant.
Niles just goes, oh, looks good in here.
All good.
All good.
The drone scorpions rush up towards Nauthiz. 10, 20, 30 pulls it right into the field. You watch. Actually, I'll do it on the diagonal, so it's really trapped there. One of the drones, as it moves up, immediately stops as it enters the period. It's not within 5 feet of you now, this technically, so it would not have a attack of opportunity if you were to leave. The other one, 10, 20, 30. Again, not within 5 feet. They're still 5 feet out of where you are, as both of the drone scorpions are now called and cut and kept in this effect. You watch as their plating groans, the actual like gears themselves seem to tick, and the tails pull down against their bodies as the gravitational effect of this area slowly slows them down. Now they need to make a dexterity saving throw. Is that correct? Is that correct, Tetra?
Yes, they do. They
To
need
avoid
make
being
a-
just completely grappled.
Yeah, it should be a dex save.
That is a 7 and an 11. I'm guessing they both fail.
They both fail.
They both fail. Not what I needed to roll poorly. They do only have a +1 to dex though, so it's not that I rolled that badly. That's the end of the drones go. Let me just check. No, neither of them have recharged. Harry, it's your go.
Harry's tempted to enter the house, but he also wants to keep an eye on things. So what Harry's going to do, there's some rubble just north of him, so he's going to just move there, crouch down, and not physically crouch mechanically, but like bonus action
crouch
hide.
mechanically.
Yeah, not mechanically crouching, but like he wants a bonus action hide in the rubble.
Yep.
23.
23 is not too bad, is it?
Yeah, no, that's all right. It's all right. He's fucking invisible. No one knows where he is. Everyone thinks he's been shot in the leg again.
Not even the DM. The DM's like, where did that rabbit go?
What he would like to do is, so that was a bonus action hide. I'd like to hold my action to, I don't know, try to shoot at the scorpion if it looks like it's going to attack Nauthiz or Tetra, or
absolutely.
just be ready to help, or give the help action to either of them to escape a grapple or to get away from anything.
Absolutely. Yep. Brilliant. Love it. Nauthiz.
Okay. Can I jump in the drone and grapple it, please?
You can. It's not within 5 feet of you though, so you would have to enter this area to get within 5 feet of it.
That's right.
To jump and grapple it. Did you want to enter the
No.
effect? You want to enter Michael's zone of gravitational?
That would be bad. I do want to attack it though.
It did one shot
Strength
both
check.
Lyra and myself last game, and that was like not
They still
even
would
at
have
full
both
power.
failed. Yeah, +2 to strength, Michael. So that would have been a 12 was the highest. Would 12 have passed?
Nah, 13 passes. So
There you go. So they both would have failed regardless.
Okay.
So what would you like to do now, Diz?
Alright, I'll just keep going backwards then. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I only get to there.
Remember each one's 10.
Yeah. 5, 10,
Perfect.
15, 20.
10, 20.
Or do you round up or down? Because,
D&D always rounds down.
yeah. Okay, so I can only go there then.
10, 20, yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But, oh yeah, and that makes sense because you rounded up before, so that actually evens out perfectly now. Do you want to
I might
dash?
go this way.
Just so you know, Lyra and Harry and Krasus all look to be on the other side of this. So the ants that are giving this tavern a wide berth, it looks like they're giving it sort of like a 30 to 40 feet berth, moving away from the outside of this in a perfect circle. Lyra and Harry, well, you can't see Harry anymore, but Lyra and Krasus look to be either just inside, maybe Lyra's just outside this line, but Krasus looks to be well inside. You can actually see there is another ant giving it a wide berth, only probably like 40 feet away from you.
Yeah, I still wouldn't get there.
Yeah,
yeah, you would. Yeah, you would.
10, 20, you get to there.
No, it's here. 10, 20, 30, 40.
No, because you moved up one.
No, because I was there. 40. With a dash. Yeah.
Yeah, that's only
I'm
just
all
out. It's only just outside the line.
Yeah, that's alright. I'll do that. I don't know what Tetra's doing though. She doesn't like that.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Lyra,
Alright, that's my turn.
So I'm going to do 30 feet of movement to get closer to the tavern. Is there a spot that I can sort of stop at? Oh, no, that's not move. Is there a spot that I can sort of stop at that'll sort of give me like half cover or anything? Like,
Oh yeah, I mean,
sort of some rubble.
I mean, there's rubble from the buildings nearby, but there's actually stuff even closer to the tavern itself. In the outside section, you can see there are a number of barrels and crates stacked up that probably once contained food and drink that have been left out to be refilled. As you duck behind them, well within the circle around the tavern now, as you duck behind them, you think you're probably partially hidden from view.
It's enough to sort of, she's not really liking the idea of those scorpion tails, but she doesn't like the idea of sort of leaving Tetra and now sort of in the wind. So I'm going to turn around and I'm going to blast the scorpion that's not in the entanglement with a chill touch.
Ooh,
or at least
range,
I'm going to try.
What range? 120
feet.
Oh, you're sweet.
Oh, you're kidding me.
7. What does your chill touch look like? I'm guessing it's like a special type of mushroom that you throw that creates this very like quick endothermic reaction that pulls in heat and freezes the air around it.
Like a mushroom that I'm throwing. I'm thinking maybe more something that she's pulling up magically from below ground. So it's sort of almost like a necromancer pulling up a dead body, but it is the quick formation of a mushroom that just sort of liquefies down in like an acid almost maybe that's cold. I mean,
as I said, could be an endothermic reaction. So like as it liquefies, it pulls in heat to fuel this chemical reaction, chilling the air around and actually causing these like tendrils of ice to freeze around. Unfortunately, as you create this, as you focus and create the mushroom, you watch as it grows up and then immediately is hit by the gravitational field and just collapses back into the earth again. Alrighty. Anything else on your turn, Lyra?
If she can look, like, is there sort of like a window or a doorway sort of in that?
Not on the eastern side of the tavern. It looks like more the south and western sides might be more areas where you'd find a window. This area looks to be very close to the still, not much of a view, so there's no windows here looking out from the outside.
Sweet. Well done. Thank you.
Tetra.
Alright, just... Okay. Yeah, alright, cool. Just checking something. All right, so look, Tetra's just going to run. So she's going to do 10, 20, 30, 40. As she passes now, she just presses a little, let me just double check that was, a red jade into her hand. She'll say, red jade for energy. And then she's going to keep running.
Nice. It just literally runs up to Nauthiz, red jade for energy, and then rushes past her. Drive by crystal shopping.
Exactly. So drive by guidance.
Yeah, nice. Brilliant. Fantastic. At the top of the round is Krasus. However, before you do, Nauthiz and Harry. Yeah, no, sorry. Krasus, your turn.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So nothing happens?
No, all good. Carry on.
Okay. I forgot. I haven't been tracking my
owl.
So I'm actually meant to roll for the owl.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's just been sticking with you, maybe giving you the help action if you need it.
Just sticking with me.
Or just dodging. Maybe it's just been dodging in case of the scorpion tails coming back.
Just keep it dodging, and it's just keeping pace with me. Okay, the scorpions are all over there. That's pretty good. I'm gonna do another minor illusion. I'm gonna do one here of how tall is Harry?
5 feet.
I'm gonna do Harry like standing there with his like daggers ready to attack them.
Yeah, brilliant, fantastic.
Nice, love it.
That's just to create another roadblock.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna move. So you said 20 feet away from me is the entrance to the tavern?
Yeah, only 10, 20, only 30 feet away from where you are now, right where Niles is on the map. So just 30 feet to the west of where you are.
So is it there or is it here? Well, regardless, I'm going to move up to the door.
Yeah.
And has it been pushed open already? Because I think
Niles has opened it. You just push in and walk on in. You see the same corridor Niles was looking at before.
All right, well, I'm going to...
You've probably seen me in the corridor.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump in that corridor with Niles.
Yeah?
Brilliant. I'd say yeah. You've got,
I'm
you've
still
got
in the
30 feet of
corridor.
movement, so you're just standing there behind Niles. Niles, your turn next.
No, Niles is probably just going to continue to call out. We mean you no harm. We're here to help. And he's just gonna like slowly like make his way up to where like the main tavern area is.
Niles, I'm going to move you across to an. Can I put you separately on maps, or do I have to keep you together? No, I have to keep you together. Niles, I will move you across to a new map next session when all the players come here. But for the moment, as you move up and look into the tavern, you see a very opulent, large, open tavern seated area. There's a bar set up along the far eastern wall, a spit roast in the very center of the room, still smoking, the coals having lost a lot of heat, but still a very faint waft of smoke coming up from the spit roast. Tables, chairs all the way around the room, some pushed back, some pushed in. You can see a few mugs full of drink, some half drunk, one or two mugs that have been dropped to the floor. Again, the sense that people have only just left, but like food that you see is cold. It looks like people suddenly just left.
Okay. So, but I'm essentially out of the turn order. Is that
for the moment? Yeah, just because
okay.
I don't want to let you get too far ahead without the rest of the
sure.
game.
Yep.
The drones are next, so I need to make a strength save. Otherwise, they're grappled and they can't move at all.
Yeah, should be.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Please tell me that's not correct. I think it is though.
So creature in the area casts a spell must make a saving throw. When the spell ends. The spell ends, they went away, but it's concentration for up to a minute.
Yep.
Duration, yeah.
They lose their movement speed. I rolled a 9 for both.
Oh, actually, it says a creature. Strength saving throw will be strained by until the spell ends.
Yeah, for 1 minute.
Yes, that's for a minute.
So they're stuck there. They're restrained. They both lose their movement speed. Let me reroll, see if they recharge. No. Oh, piss off, roll 20.
Wow.
Piss off.
Oh, that is a move.
1 and 3. The tails do not recharge. Harry, you just watch as the scorpions just go with their claws and can't do anything as they are restrained by this gravitational pull.
No one's actually shot or hit it yet, have they?
No.
Harry sees everyone inside the circle, more or less.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's pretty much inside.
It's just now there's left, yeah.
Harry uses his movement and his bonus action dash to get into the tavern, I guess. With the others.
Brilliant. Harry, you go join the others. Now this.
I'm getting inside the circle.
Brilliant. Now this. As soon as you cross the line, you watch as immediately the scorpions, which were staring down only at you now, you've noticed that they were only looking at you. The second you cross the line, there's this sudden pause. They both slump for a moment, and then look back up, and then begin trying to move away, seemingly oblivious to your presence, despite the fact that they should clearly still be able to see you. They seem unaware of your presence now.
They still can't move.
No, and as they stand there trying to move, just straining against the gravitational field, they seem unable to push free.
Do they care about the minor illusion, Harry?
No.
Who is outside the circle?
Because I'm assuming with Krasus having moved in now, the minor illusion Harry, because you still have to be within 30 feet.
No, I don't have to be within.
Oh.
It's like it just stays there.
How long for?
I'll display it in VTT.
Or until you cast. Range 30 feet.
Its duration is a minute, but I don't have to stay within the range. It just stays there for a minute.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, then sorry. Then the two scorpions continue to try to move towards. Then they would continue to try to move towards the illusion for the moment. Then definitely until you cancel the.
Well,
I'll make an intelligence check. Let me make an intelligence check for them because they've already been fooled with one of these. Let's see if they make the intelligence check. Watch as I now roll ridiculously high. 15. Does that pass your spell save DC?
It's 13.
Yes. So you watch as the scorpions power down, look back up, ignore the illusion, and begin trying to move away from the location that they're currently in, seemingly no longer aware of your presence or uncaring, much like the ants had been before. And that is where we're going to wrap up for tonight. The next section is a lot bigger than what we've got time left for tonight. We're already at 9:40. We're wrapping up there.
That's interesting.
There's a lot more coming. Oh yeah, we're not going to get through that next section in any short amount of time. So that's where we're wrapping up for tonight. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. It's been such a pleasure running Return of the Dragons. I am absolutely loving running a completely homebrew adventure and campaign. Very, very excited, and I am loving all the flavor that our amazing players are adding to their characters. So cool. I'm really looking forward to seeing these characters grow and develop, and yeah, really, really excited. Again, thank you so much, Dave, for joining us, playing Harry, the lovely Harengon. Very, very excited to have you as a guest character. You will be back joining us again next week, I hope.
Yes, I will. Thank you for having me.
Sweet. Yeah, we'll keep you around for, I think, the Last Spire arc if you're keen, and then we'll definitely have Harry come back. Or I die, either
one, whichever happens first.
Or you die, yeah. I was gonna say we'll have Harry come back as a reoccurring guest character, unless of course he dies as a result of this adventure.
Or even if he does die, you can keep coming back as different characters and just Sean Bean the situation.
Could just Sean Bean it. Hi, I'm Barry. I'm Harry's brother.
Brother Goblin.
Yeah,
Barry, Gary, Larry.
Yeah, actually, Dave, all the characters you've named all the characters you've played in my campaigns have all had the name.
All the male characters.
Have all had a name starting with a letter and then A-R-R-Y.
It's true. I love
all the male characters. Hestia doesn't spell that way, but
that's true.
Barry is amazing. I love Barry.
That was great fun. Now look, thank you so much, everybody. Stay safe, stay well. We will be back again before you know it. But until then, have a lovely weekend and see you guys again soon. Farewell for now.
Bye. See everyone. Bye, guys.
Happy Easter.